this is really a pretty efficient machine. There's been so many city trucks that have gone through this area, and as they move in, those city workers then pile up the backs of those trucks with all of those plywood signs. And as Lee mentioned, some of those signs were actually art, some of that expected to be saved. I'm not sure what's happening with these that are being put into the back of these vehicles, but there have been so many trucks move through here that I've completely lost count, because a couple trucks move in, they load them up, and then they move out, and city workers working pretty efficiently to get all of this area cleaned up. I want to take you now to a live look of Cal Anderson Park. I'm watching on another live channel. If it can just even out a little bit, I'll take it. It looks like, all right, let's take it. Let's show you Cal Anderson Park, because just in the last couple of minutes, I also watched as Seattle police, take a look at this look right now, put up caution tape all around this Cal Anderson Park area. You know, Seattle police sweeping this area right around 6 o'clock this morning, and then creating a perimeter around the park. It looks like some folks have started to move some stuff out. We're seeing quite a bit of debris and stuff around this caution tape. This just getting put up moments ago. I watched as Seattle police officers put up this caution tape around this portion of Cal Anderson Park. Just see one protester there right now. But take a look. We see a couple tents right here in this area. Our photographer did show us a close-up inside a tent just moments ago, and it was just filled with a bunch of, looked like food wrappers, some different debris inside that tent. I think it was this one right here. We still see some Seattle police officers out there, as well as a couple chairs right here. But again, just moments ago, Seattle police putting up that caution tape. There is that tent that I just mentioned with all of that, what looks to be trash inside of it. But again, they've cordoned off this area. The caution tape is up. It looks like they're going to start clearing out this area probably within the next couple of minutes as they get that caution tape into place, that can continue to hold that perimeter around Cal Anderson Park.
And Holly, I mean, the big question is, as they set up that police tape, is how are they going to maintain that perimeter throughout the day and throughout the weeks to come? Are they going to have a police presence out there? Are they going to have officers manning those posts throughout the week to keep the protesters from coming back? For a different perspective on that perimeter, on the very south side of where we're standing right now, where this live camera is looking, let's go to Como's Lee Stoll for her perspective. So, Lee, what are you seeing right there? That looks like that's the chalk outline of the Black Lives Matter mural on the streets.
Yeah, and I wanted to show you that because we have been talking about the plywood being removed and some of it being the artwork of people who have been here. And it looks like the crews have put cones around the Black Lives Matter mural right now, possibly to protect it if they're going to reopen this road to traffic. That white sign that was out in the middle of the road for so long with the list of demands from those who were protesting here, that was one of those pieces that was loaded up into one of the trucks that we see here as well. So we're at Pine and Broadway, and the officers here just holding this line again. You were mentioning Holly was seeing a stack of yellow police tape, caution tape, that they were putting out in another area. We do see one officer who has a roll of yellow tape here as well. Not clear if maybe they're going to just string that across the intersection and let these officers then reposition themselves somewhere else. But right now they're just holding that perimeter, just waiting to see if there is any more interaction with people who are starting to gather here. We've had a couple more people, but for the most part, it's been peaceful. Some yelling at the officers, some people on megaphones, but not representing a large crowd here, and some people trying to talk to the officers as well. We haven't been seeing anyone coming out of the chop zone. We did talk to someone earlier this morning. We got here just after we were hearing that order being issued for people to clear out and having about 8 to 12 minutes to pack up their stuff and quickly move out of the chop based on the mayor's order. Deborah, she's been up here since a couple of weeks ago, all the way from North Carolina.
I literally
she
just
was
sat
one of
down
the first people to
and
leave
saw what was going
so
on and
quickly.
was
In
like,
fact,
well,
she
I don't
scraped
have
her hand a
fucking
little
time for
bit
this.
and just gathered everything that she could and got out. And
I got
at
a
that
meeting
time, we
in
thought
20
we would
minutes.
see more people rushing out of that area.
I mean, it
We
looks
didn't.
like a lot of
She
these
really
people are
was
there.
only a
Like,
handful of people
you're at
we saw,
116
and she
for the
was
raid.
concerned at the
So not all
time
of them, but
of those who
it'll
were still
build up.
left
Give it
behind
a
as to
couple
whether or
minutes.
not
Give
they
it a
were
couple
going to
seconds.
follow orders today to leave this area. Take a listen to what she had to say.
I would say most of them are not going to leave. The only one that I heard besides me, because I said that's not my role. I'm not going to fight against anybody. I'm a missionary of encouragement. I'm here to
Hey guys,
help de-escalate.
here's the situation of what's
putting
going on.
another route, but
I don't know,
historian
and
said the
so
same
we're going to
thing. That's not what
raise
I'm
the
about.
Seattle Protest Network because those are the people that I work with.
But everybody else,
And we're
as
going
far as
to,
I'm
they have a
concerned,
lot
they're
more
ready
live
to,
feeds of what's going on because I
fight for
have
what
work
they
in
believe.
15 minutes. So, that being said, we're going to send you guys over.
And that's what we've heard
to
from several of the
channel.
protesters, that really there are two groups that formed once the violence really started to be almost a nightly occurrence.
They'll take care of you
Deborah,
guys
one of
from
those
there.
who heard gunshots several nights in a
I'll
row.
be back
She
later
says that
this
she also saw some people who were violent with
we
each
go.
other, attacking others in tents. Some information, some reports now that officers are going to have to investigate. Again, this is also a scene for officers to be gathering information, evidence for several crimes that they're going to be looking into over the next couple of weeks. So all of this that they are collecting, that they are breaking down, I'm sure there is a systematic way to be doing it as to what is going to be saved and what is going where. And that seems to be what they're working on right now. But that Black Lives mural, a lot of people were concerned, what is going to happen to that? How do you open the road again? Is there a way to preserve it? And at least right now, that seemed to be one of the first things we saw city crews do now that they are here, that they put cones around it. Not clear if the road itself is going to be reopened to cars. You can see a lot of concrete barriers that need to be removed behind it. That would be intersection of 11th and then up to 12th, right in front of the precinct itself. So it's going to be a while before these roads, it looks like, are going to be reopened in any way. And at this point, no one being allowed in a car or walking past this police line here at Pine and Broadway.
All right, Lee, thank you. We'll be sure to check back, but we want to give you a live look. Let's take you right into the heart of where all the action is as those crews start to remove all the debris. We're looking at our view right now from KOMO's Matt Markovich. Matt, does it feel like they're making pretty quick progress here?
Yes, they are. But again, you know, there's going to be issues what you're watching right now, because was this an encampment or was this a demonstration? As you can see, the city crews are just taking whatever here, no matter what it is, and putting it in the truck there from Sale Parks, the garbage truck. We've been watching police officers, I'm not going through it right now, but we've been watching police officers go in and out of the precinct, so they're clearly inside. There have been no police vehicles. This is the garage right here. There have been no police vehicles that have been entering the precinct garage area. There you just saw an officer. You just saw an officer walk out of the precinct. And so they're making quick work of this. They've removed all the artwork that was on top of these cement barricades to preserve them for an art installation about the CHOP. That was one of the city's things that they wanted to do, and there's actually, I can't show you right now, but there's actually a large container where they for a future use. But again, they're just making quick work of the encampment here, and everything that was there is going right into the garbage truck.
And Matt, how careful are they with removing that debris? Earlier we saw canines going through and sweeping that area. We're not sure if those were bomb-sniffing dogs or arson dogs, or if they're looking for drugs or different types of weapons. So how careful are they being as they remove and dismantle these tents?
Well, I think other than wearing gloves and steel-toed shoes, they're just taking everything they see and just throwing it into the garbage. I don't think they're being any particular about finding needles or biohazards. Whatever on the ground is going into the garbage. It's pretty simple. You know, you can see the backhoe back there with that scooper lifting up. You can't see it now, but they're removing the cement barricades, and SDOT's going to put them on the flatbeds. They have several dump trucks. You see one in the distance there to handle the additional garbage, as well as carry some of those cement barricades back to SDOT.
All right, Matt, thank you so much. It's a great view right there. And you mentioned the removal of those barricades. And Holly, you have another bird's eye view of what's happening.
Kelly, take a look at this. We are just now starting to see those barricades, those cement barricades, being picked up by this piece of heavy equipment and put onto this flatbed truck. Matt has been mentioning this, and of course, I've been monitoring Air 4's live look throughout the morning. This is the first I've seen of those cement barricades being put onto a flatbed truck and taken away. We've been showing you the live looks of city workers stack up those pieces of plywood and put those onto city trucks and then drive those out. And like I mentioned earlier, there's been so many vehicles in this area that I really couldn't keep track of how many loads of stuff that they have taken away. But little by little, they are really whittling down this chop zone. And you can see where tents did once stand. Those are now taken down. They're working on the remaining ones right there on the corner of this East Precinct on Pine Street right here. But yeah, we're starting to see those cement barriers being taken up by that heavy equipment put onto those flatbed trucks and then being taken away along with those different pieces of plywood and those different tents. And of course, we mentioned too that city workers have found all kinds of things in this chop zone, as well as those improvised spike strips that are designed to puncture vehicle tires and really could do quite a bit of damage. If you look in the corner of your screen right now, we're seeing a tent being carried away by some city workers there this morning. I want to take you back also to Cal Anderson Park. This is another live channel I've been monitoring for us throughout the morning, and you can see we've got a small crowd gathered right here, but we also have that caution tape now surrounding that park. We watched right around 6 o'clock this morning when Seattle police moved in and started to sweep the ball field, then worked their way to that north end of the park, worked their way across the playground into that tent encampment that Matt says there's about 40 to 50 tents in, and at one point we believe there to be about 40 to 50 protesters in that area. However, this morning it seemed like most of those protesters had really dispersed as police officers did yell dispersal orders, declaring this an unlawful assembly, and if those protesters did not leave, arrests would be made. And as we mentioned earlier, you know, that caution tape is up. How long it stays up, how long they enforce it, that will remain to be seen in the days ahead.
And Holly, speaking of protesters, let's go back out to Como's Denise Whitaker. A bit of more confrontations happening on where your vantage point is.
Yes, absolutely. The DOT crews have been making quick work of filling up their dump trucks and their other trucks with debris. And just as a line of 3 trucks wanted to come through, one of the protesters who had been sitting in the middle of the street by the barricade decided to sit down right in the middle of the street so that the trucks could not get through. So the officers quickly went in and handcuffed her. And that is what you're seeing now down on the ground. They moved her out of the way so that they could get the SDOT trucks to come through.
People will be waking up in shop. Well, Seattle.
Looking at what is the 12th precinct cleanup. What you see up here is SDOT and a combined effort with one of the departments that are here with the police department. But what you do see up there is a lot of green and orange vests and not a lot of uniformed officers.
Shop being dismantled before our very eyes.
See, it looks like they put cones around the mural on the ground. I wonder if they're preserving that or what their plans are there. I'd like to ask one of them.
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah, because you can see, it looks. Is it still there? I think it is.
It is.
Okay, it's hard to tell on the camera.
I wonder if they're gonna.
You guys.
That's a good question.
Well, a lot of you guys have been here right from the start.
They might be talking about it. Maybe
5 weeks of this.
Let's ask the sergeant.
You've seen the birth of Chaz.
Or whoever he is.
You've seen the renaming of that child to Chop. You are now witnessing its
Quick question
death.
for you. We see a lot of cones around the Black Lives Matter mural. What's the plan for that? Do you know? Okay. Is SDOT kind of responsible for the cleanup crew right now? Is that are they kind of being tasked with that? Okay. Okay. So then the cataloging and IDing of stuff that everyone keeps asking about. We've had a lot of people ask us about how they're actually IDing and cataloging all the items up there.
I know our navigation team is out here.
The navigation team, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a division within the Seattle Police Department that does the homeless camps and things like that.
Okay.
That's their expertise.
Yep, New York
That's
has
gonna be a long
developed their
process,
own
probably,
autonomous
cataloging
zone.
and IDing all that.
I would think so.
Yeah. Are they actually preserving it, or is it getting just kind of thrown out?
I saw it getting loaded into a dump truck.
Okay. Thank you, Lieutenant. So that was actually the lieutenant. I don't know. I have nothing. There you go.
I just asked the officer if he would provide us all of the names of the officers present, and he told me to grab a pen and paper, and that he would let me write it down. So I'm going to take them up on their offer, and we need to know who's out here, because if they start doing the same tactics they've been using before, then
Right. Absolutely.
than anybody else out here. I've seen more bloodshed. I've seen this county needs $50 million more to solve homelessness. And we still have homelessness.
I mean,
But we can't solve homelessness. We can solve coronavirus.
don't give a shit about me. What the fuck is that?
Well, it's just because, I don't know. I don't know why she reached out to me.
But we can impound your vehicles, take all your constitutional rights away, and turn you into a slave. But that's
Hey, Connie, this is CJ. How are you?
When aren't you working?
I mean, the last month I haven't not been working, so we'll see what happens. But
I have a story for you. Through photos.
Chop, 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 chop. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will.
There's see from the other side over here, guys. Looks like they're clearing it out. Again, pretty early in the morning here. It's probably, I don't know, probably after 6 a.m. now, but I'm sorry, guys. I didn't even really check the news. I just got the call and got over here. You know, got dressed, got over here as fast as I could, and you know, punched in the before I even left. I punched in the description of the video. I came here and went live basically as soon as I could. More cops here, it looks like. Okay. Go here. Is that okay? No? This guy's gonna say no. I'm media. Is it okay? Okay. Oh, he said go ahead. I'm media. Okay. Okay, so this is the same block as the precinct, so we should be able to get a view from this side, I think. Or is it? No, it's the next one. Damn it, sorry. Not this one, the next one.
Can I put my phone on here? I think that'll work.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
But I mean the microphone and everything.
Wait, can we just plug it into this? Or do you need a specific app?
No. No.
Just that?
Just this, yeah.
Okay. Well, then we're going to switch to my phone. Be right back, guys. Sorry, one more time, and then this should be the last.
Just keep it just like that if you can. Scroll down, scroll down. Scroll down. Get it as far as you can, all the way to 105. Thank you. What's up, brother? I got you.
Let me know which side you call me my live stream ends. So someone's just calling me.
All right, so.
Okay. Okay, that.
All right, so we're back. New stream.
Just waiting for concrete to come back now.
Whew. Man, it's cold out here. Goodness. All right, so new stream. We're back out here, and what we see is, like I said, out here at the East Precinct, a lot of stuff coming down. Officers removing signs, trash. Department of Transportation's out here. Seattle Parks Department is out here. Seattle Public Utilities is here. Facility Services is out here. This morning we saw it live there on the stream, where we saw Seattle police at about 5 o'clock this morning. They went to push the protesters out. Before that, they declared, they mentioned that the mayor at 2 o'clock this morning had put out an emergency order. You can see that on the SPD blotter, I think that .seattle.gov. And they declared this an unlawful assembly, and they said based upon the emergency order that the mayor put out at 2 a.m., they requested that everyone leave the area. They initially said 3 minutes. I think it was a bit longer than 3 minutes. And when they moved, something that people have seen here on the protests before It's 89 in Tampa. Man, I need to be there. What we've seen with the protests before is that the bikes came out in front with their move back posture, move back. And really, I mean, 5 feet, 10 feet at a time, the Seattle Police Department pushed the protesters out from out in front of the precinct. Very little resistance that they faced, and pushing the protesters out. We talked to one officer earlier. We asked if there was any injuries on the police side. He said no. We asked if any injuries on the protester side. He said no. I asked about how many arrests were made. He said that right now it's about 20 arrests is what he was saying from his end. So we're gonna go. I see Matt moving across the street. So I'm jumping on the ladder. It looks like they're going up there to pull down the sign. This was one of the big signs that the protesters had affixed to the building. What's that one say? All right, here it is. This is a one of the signs.
This is a symbolic moment. Take me.
You got a lot of officers huddled right here as they're looking to bring down this sign the protesters put up here in front of the East Precinct. Quite a few officers. Looks like facilities, SDOT.
Loitering here, okay? I understand you're members of the media. There's no loitering at. This is a closed area. You need to leave the area or be subject to arrest. Do you understand me?
So we're just gonna go to our office. It's just right there.
You can't stay on the sidewalk, so you gotta go inside. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, we'll put the camera out here though.
I moved out to the street to show you what is basically a symbolic moment.
Well, we're not hanging out. We're actually working just like you are. We're not presenting a threat to you.
A couple of blocks away.
I understand. I know, but I mean, we're definitely going to keep the camera going, even if we got to step inside. I understand that.
But beyond the corners here, it seems to be business as
So,
usual. But of course, beyond the
police have pushed us back a bit.
Perimeter, pretty secure. Several
and
blocks around the East
we're trying to cover right here.
Lee, thank
Said
you.
that we're loitering, and we could face arrest for loitering.
I believe, who may be
So,
ordering him to leave. Matt, can you hear us? Can you tell us
that's their position.
what's happening?
Yeah. I just wanted. I moved out to the street to show you what is basically a symbolic moment here.
You heard him. I mean, we're not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And I think that probably the Seattle Police Department would agree that keeping this area open and transparent and everything else is important. The police have actually tried to push us back quite a few times, but we have a space over here, so we're going to continue. Talking about is who we're talking about is that the citizens here in Seattle and people even beyond that, to give them a view, and that this is a view that the people who live in Seattle deserve to be able to see, and we've continuously brought this this information over here, and we stream daily over here. Yeah, they got the sign down now. So we're going to just spin this and try to tighten it. one of our producers. Yeah. Who? This is one of our producers. Yeah. Man, just start the production. So there's one of our producers arriving over here for work. It's all right, man. It's all right. You know what? Our posture throughout this whole thing has been calm, no matter what. Hey, man, it's all right. It's okay. Yeah, well, you go do that. Go set up. It's all right. 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 Hands, you can't go all that way up there, man. Hands. Look, man, we got an understanding over here, and you know we're gonna respect our space, and we want them to respect our space.
That's why
so
it's Bobby. I gave you my legit name, Bobby.
It's right there. It's been there. It's been there every day. It's been there. It's hanging up right there. How you doing, man?
If he has something that shows, because he couldn't even tell us address or something like that.
Well,
so that's what we're gonna have.
You know what it is. The last 3 weeks, our press credentials haven't been required inside the shop, and so a lot of people have gone and they've had their credentials just inside the office.
The only other thing the other directions that we were given is just for you guys not to loiter outside.
Yeah, I mean we're not loitering though. We're gainfully working. This is our place of employment.
That, but they didn't want people hanging out outside, so
we're definitely not hanging out. Thank you, appreciate it, officer.
Thank you. Chop, chop, I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will. I will eat your ass.
Have you seen something like this before, Matt?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think they're using exclusive heavy equipment.
Continuously, these officers here, they said that we're loitering. That officer over there, they said that we're loitering. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the camera just brings a sense of transparency for everybody. You know what I'm saying? No matter where people are at on this issue.
Hey, I work at that building right there, boy.
I said 11th and parties at the corner.
No, our
visuals are here. Mine's just
hey, bro.
Let's go this way. I'm sure that they're seeing your screen.
They got to hear my song though.
And the EOC.
Right.
So they see that.
Right. Hands. Bro, man, we've got an understanding. You need to respect that, man. Okay, we're telling you. This is our space right here. This is what we're telling you. So please stay in this space right here. This is our space. This guy right here is from Como. We're all in this space right here. You know what I'm saying? You think you going through it, brother? Try being out here every day for 30 days, man. If I could be calm, everybody could be calm. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, let's bring it down. Let's bring it down a notch. You know what I'm saying?
So there officially are 23 arrests.
23 arrests. Okay.
Did they arrest that whole front line? Because that front line is gone.
It's been gathering from when you started to as of 10 minutes ago. It's 23 arrests.
So 23 in total over the last few weeks.
No.
Oh, you mean from 5 a.m.
From 5 a.m.
To right now. So information we're getting 23 arrests that have been made out here. We're seeing a final cleanup. So what we do see here is on the back side is there was a mural that was there in the street, and it looks like SDOT has actually moved to. They put cones around the mural that was there in the street. So there was a mural that was painted, a Black Lives Matter mural. It looks like SDOT has put cones around the mural. And that's what we see down there as we look in a westerly direction. We'll zoom it back out.
Is that Goldberg? Oh
no. Whew. Man, it's cold out here. July 1st. Goodness.
When did this happen? I was over here around 3.
It's 5 a.m., man. This is what I'm saying, man. This is 4 hours, 4+ hours continuous coverage on this, man. So, I mean, hey, I've had lots of interactions out here. All right. You know what I'm saying? What a problem is on this end is that our production, whether our production employees will actually be able to get in for the morning show. You know what I'm saying? We produce our morning show from right here, and right now we don't know if they'll be able to get in. One of our producers over here, Anthony, who just our photojournalist, he just got in. So we see more blocks. We see more of the ecology blocks, SDOT, removing those. Those look like the ones that the direction of the truck would indicate that perhaps those are the ones that were up there by Firehouse 25 on 13th. We see those now being removed. Got more officers coming up behind us.
Mark, what's up?
Hey.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. It's cold out here, though. It's 4 hours and some shorts. At least I ain't in my slides today. Man. Whew. These shoes are wet, too. Okay, so FAS is Financial Administration Services. Thank you. And it looks like here, Financial Administration Services was FAS. We saw FAS on the back of some jackets there. Financial Administration Services of the city. Thank you. No, it's too far down from there. I sit down there. I'm not going to be able. No. This is a good shot, bro. It's a good shot.
You sure, man? I got you, buddy. I got your back, man.
It's a good. We gonna see it through.
Eric Clearby's got your back, dude. Bobby Stills, suspect.
Man, be quiet, man. Yeah. So this is a reporter from the AP. What's up, Aaron? Hello. Aaron. Huh?
NPR wants to talk to you at noon, alive.
Who? NPR. Oh. Aaron. So I got the reporter from the AP has called me here on the other phone. And I can't get him, so we'll hang up there. So I'm gonna leave this live on here. There's there's quite a few reporters from different areas that are out here around the chop. So I'm gonna try to get an update from a few other people, and so we'll keep this right here on the East Precinct as the cleanup around the precinct continues.
No. The police tape's right here. We got the line. We're good. Police tape's right here. But what you can see back here is Cal Anderson. All the tents are gone now. Not a single tent out there. And then what you've got up here is there's still, I mean, you can still see tents up in the background there, and part of the play field up on top.
Oh yeah, you can right there.
Yeah. Now, one of the things you're not going to be able to see is the backside of this building is kind of where all of the gardens and in the majority of Tent City has been. And but I mean, if you see these bags up here of things, like I said, there's been people that have been living here, proper living here, and they're going to have to try to find a way to catalog, ID, all that stuff, and have people be able to get online to reclaim it. Now, what you're doing though, and this is just kind of coming to me as I'm thinking about it, is you've got a lot of homeless individuals that have been camping here as a permanent installment for their home. All of their homes now have been torn apart by the police and thrown into the back of a truck for cataloging and IDing. And the way that they get their belongings back is to go online and figure that out. Well, if you're living in a tent in a park, you probably don't have direct access to Wi-Fi and a computer that you can go ahead and try to find all your possessions. So really what just happened is, it's sad to see, and we've had a lot of people comment, is that people have just lost their homes. We were talking to a woman out here who's her friend is 6 months pregnant, and their entire all their belongings were inside of that inside of their tent, and the tent was torn apart and is now in the back of a garbage can or a dump truck somewhere, being cataloged or ID'd. Twitch is messing up. Hey. No, there's police tape down there. I mean, you can kind of see what's going on though with the play field.
Get a good shot of the tent a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there people on every side as well?
Yeah. I mean, from what you can see, all you can kind of see is the very edge of like the play field. There's still tents up there that they haven't pulled down. That bigger one that had the chain link around it.
Yeah.
But you can't see any of Tent City or the gardens right here because that building's blocking it. But all the tents have been cleaned out of Cal Anderson. Wow. Like the park's completely empty. And they've got like 3 or 4 of the SUVs that are parked down here and on the other side. And man, this is gonna be terrible. Like this whole catalog process, because you've got a lot of homeless people that are living in this park, and they need to go online to figure out where their possessions are. I'm like, man, these people don't have computers. So all of what they had, they're living in tents. Now it's gone.
And then the bureaucracy to navigate it, because you have to fill out the form. You have
to
go to the location. You got to fill out the form there. Yeah.
And they're already having issues. And I mean, there's been mental health issues, and that's been a problem here. So now you're going to have them figure out how to get back what they had.
Right.
Start all over again. Back in the process, back in the grinder.
Oh yeah, this does nothing to address any of those issues.
No.
It just sweeps it under the rug. Yeah.
It's been a huge step backwards.
Agreed.
Especially with a lot of the agreements that Ginny Durkin had with like use of force and chemical agents, which they did use on the police station up there.
Yeah.
And she made it very clear that won't be used for any of the encounters that we have between the police and the occupants of CHOP. So yeah, it's been, I mean, all of our viewers had the same thing. Like, wow, it doesn't matter who we agree with. Like, this is not okay. Like, this is terrible.
People are only going to come back stronger. So yeah, I'll see you here tonight.
Yeah, right. Whoa, jeez, I was hands up.
Yep, concrete reporting is fake news. Take out the trash. Amazing.
Is that what someone said?
Yeah. Hey, we got Lucky here.
Hey, what up, Bamboo?
Twitch streamer. Lucky Bamboo.
Lucky Bamboo, yeah.
Lucky Bamboo 13.
13, yeah.
So, I just don't want to get hurt, so sometimes we need to hang out. You're totally good. You can walk around anywhere. Right now, they're welcoming any coming, pretty much.
Yeah, you're good. And anybody has
one person that said don't film.
Which is a joke, because if you looked 13 feet the other direction, you had 3 major media outlets that were filming her and do her thing. So I mean, yeah, it's. Yeah, right. I like how people ask, what do you pay? Be like, nothing. All right, guys, joking aside, we got to get back in. So what we're going to do now is head to the best way we can get to the 12th Ave and see if we can't get a look down there. What's up?
Hey, I thought something you might find kind of interesting. I was just up on 12th and Pike.
That's where we're headed right now.
Okay. I saw an SDOT employee with an iPad and a ukulele run out of the zone up to his personal vehicle on the car and put the shit in his car. And I ran up to him. I was like, what are you doing, bro? And he's like, I found it. And I was like, where'd you find it? He's like, it's all trash. Everything in there is trash. And I was like, okay, let me get this straight. You're taking the protesters' belongings from the sweep and you're putting this in your car. And he's like, just take it, bro. You can just have it. And I was
He tried to give it to you?
He gave it. I got the shit back. But like, I don't know if SDOT's under the impression that it's just a free for all and they can just take.
The police are saying they're supposed to be cataloging and identifying everything, IDing everything.
This kid was putting it in his fucking car, an iPad, like a big ass iPad and a ukulele, and he was about to take it. 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So right now it might be a free for all in there.
And he was busted too. Like as soon as I called him out, he fucking handed it right back. He was like, "You can have it." I don't.
Do you remember what he looked like?
He's a younger kid, SDOT employee. He was probably about my age, 28-ish.
Yeah.
Some shit like that.
Do you have it on you?
No, it's back up there. I could probably point the guy out to you guys.
No, if you're heading back, that's where we're headed right now. It'd be good to point him out and then get a hold of one of the people from SDOT because they're saying that SDOT's responsible for the cleanup right now and the SPD is not involved with it. They have a navigation, I think, is the team that they said is up there. That's one of the sub-organizations within the SPD that's supposed to be a part of that work with the homeless community. So, I mean,
thought that was fucked up. I was honestly going to go try and find Omari because I know he has Director Zimbabwe's phone number.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's some bullshit, bro.
But I guess he's inside there right now.
He's on 11th and Pine.
Yeah, he's teamed up with the news team right now, I think. So, yeah, well, I'm
going to do a loop real quick and then...
Well, if we see, we're going to be up on 12th and Pike. If you catch us up there, talk to us, man. We'd definitely like to get that info. Hey, thank you for telling us, man. That's exactly what we were hearing, man. Is what we were seeing from a distance is why they pushed that perimeter back so far, probably, so they could do what they want. We tried.
We couldn't even get courtesy of being involved with the press, the media officer.
Yeah. We got close. We got close. I don't know if he told them, but that's going to incite. That information will incite. Where's the guy we were talking to? Where was the lieutenant down here still? No. Nope. All right, we got to get around the block then. So, like I said, we had to tune out, tune back in. So, as we come back on, one of the things I want to make clear is that Mayor Jenny Durkin at 2 o'clock this morning signed an emergency injunction stating that...
I'll go talk to him about that, okay? I would like Lieutenant Yu to do that before the meeting is over.
I'd like to get a word in here real quick.
I'll do the best I can.
Can I get a word?
Word here.
Can I get a word?
And if we go back, when we get our relief up here, I'll go try to find him and let him know that you're up here and you would like to talk to him about what he promised you.
Yes. Okay? If that is earnestly the best you can, then I will take what I can get.
Well, I came up here and gave you all our names today. Why wouldn't I go tell him that?
Yes.
I'm not going to order him to do it because, well, I work for him, right? So.
But I I will say, just for record's sake or whatever, I do appreciate what you did, and I do appreciate you coming over.
the fact that you appreciate it.
Right. And I thank you for all the information that you gave. I thank all of the officers under your
I appreciate
command.
you getting out of the way from the vehicle. Thank you.
Okay, yes. And I also appreciate you telling me that you would do your best to get Lieutenant Yu, because that's what I'm requesting, and I'm going to trust that you will do that.
I'll let him know. I'm sure he'll remember you.
I'm sure he will.
Your voice carries, so how can
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
Hold on, officer. I'd like to share something with the community. That if you look under the Point Elliott Treaty, the native that is on...
That wasn't going to happen. Because in there they said that what they were going to do is catalog and identify all of the belongings inside of the tents and put a forum together or a location on the SPD's website, I believe, where they could go ahead and claim all their items. Which, from what we've just seen, is not happening. We've seen people just, all this stuff getting thrown into dumpsters. On top of that, we just talked to a gentleman who just had watched the SDOT, or the Seattle Department of Transportation employee who's up here, that we were told by the lieutenant that SDOT is tasked with doing the cleanup of all of the tents. Now, SDOT right now is a pretty big team of guys up here. The police aren't directly involved with that. But what we've seen is them just throwing away people's tents, throwing away people's belongings. And one of the guys from SDOT just came up to one of the gentlemen who we've had previous dealings with and was carrying an iPad and a ukulele that he pulled out of one of these tents. And he ran up to him and he's like, "Hey man, what are you doing with all this, with that?" He was like, "Oh, I found it. Everything up here is garbage."
Oh, we can get a little closer here now.
Yeah, we got to get up higher though. No. So, and then he said, "There's Rick's bud. What's up, my man? Good to see you."
It looks like yes. I saw a couple people playing, like regular people walking around in there.
Well, the one thing we did see was people flashing ID. Should probably showing that their address. But
yeah, well, here's one thing that you got to understand about this situation. For them to say that that all your belongings will be cataloged, it really feels like, and then for this to happen, it really feels like they were just trying to create people's a false sense of security so that they would leave. What was that?
That was pandering.
Yeah, exactly. And like trying to lull them into a false sense of security so that they would leave their stuff and believe that it would be safe. And what you really got to realize is that there's so little trust with the SPD, like here, and for them to lie about this, and for this to happen, people are gonna be fucking pissed about this. Like really, really mad. I'm sure that's coming up on the.
Sure.
Do you see anything from here? Oh, hey, look.
No, we're still a block shy. So we're creeping up on 12th and Pike right now, and this is where we're going to have the best line of sight of the actual precinct itself, and hopefully we'll be able to get an eye look, first-hand account of what's really going on with people's belongings and possessions. We do know this is where most of the major media has been, down on Broadway and Pine, and then of course on 12th and Pike right now. I wish we'd have got that guy's name. I forgot to grab his name. You know what we need to talk to is Rad. He's been up here the whole time. Gotta ask you. We just ran into an old boy down the street who said that he was up here, and one of the SDOT guys down here, he came
stole from us.
Was pulled out a ukulele and an iPad. Yeah. That's the ukulele he was talking about right there, yeah.
Yep, there it is. It's the ukulele right there. We're getting confirmation here.
Yeah, this is the ukulele the SDOT employee stole.
Ran right through us. What you doing with that? He's like, oh, I found it.
Yeah.
Like it ain't fucking people out here who's living.
Then he said it was garbage. Isn't that what he followed up with? He said everything in here is garbage.
He's trying to toss it right here in his van. Oh, this is mine.
He walked past all these police and everyone here.
Oh, the cops was watching them. I was screaming out to them. That SDOT is stealing from me.
And they didn't stop anybody. I heard that and then I heard when he was confronted, he tried to give the items to the gentleman who confronted him. He's like, here, you take it. It's yours. You can have it. Because he knew he was caught. So what you've got down here is, I've talked to the lieutenant down on the other end, and he said that SDOT is tasked with doing all the cleanup. And what we've seen from SDOT is they're just taking what they want, and they've been told it's garbage.
That's what I'm seeing. And I know they know exactly where my items are. All of my shit's got its name on it. They know my name, R-A-D, Rad. My tent's got its name on it.
Yep.
My car is right there. They know my car. It's been out here. You know my car.
I know your car, yeah.
So, yo, can I get my shit back, please? Stop letting SDOT steal from us.
I wish there was someone from the police department that we could talk to, because
I think they said, what is it, the blotter? Yes, Seattle blotter or something?
Yeah. Question for you though, what he's talking about right now, with the SDOT taking things out, like, I know they've been tasked with the removal of stuff, but I mean they're taking items out of here and like loading it into their personal vehicles.
Everything will be on the. We're told that the blotter will have a link to Human Services, and I think that's all funneled towards the same place where everything's going to be held.
So the complaints for the theft?
or just
No, what
property?
happened? Did you guys see what happened? We just had a gentleman walk out of here with an iPad and a ukulele, and he walked through the line and went over and put it in the back of this truck, and he was confronted by people, and he said, "Oh, I just found this stuff."
It's one of the protesters that put it over there, okay?
No, the protester took it. He took it away from him. He was confronted by another guy who was out here, and he said that he found it. He took it away from him.
We didn't see that. We're trying to not keep it.
Well, to be clear, that came from in there, so there's no way a protester went in there and got it. That doesn't make any sense. That came from there out here, and then he grabbed it from him. I mean, unless you guys are allowing protesters in right now, is that the case? To get? Because if that's the case, I know Rad would like to get in there and grab his stuff. No? Okay, well. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy to hear that narrative right now from what he said was one of the protesters grabbed it, but obviously protesters aren't going in there. But you can't expect that not to be confronted where people are walking out with personal items. Granted, if you can see anything out here, I mean, everything is just getting piled up, thrown into big heaps. And again, that's part of all the donation stuff. Now, what's sad too is you've got this homeless community now that's been displaced. This has been a feeding source for a lot of the homeless community that's been living up in this park right now. So not only do you have the homeless people that now have lost their tents and items and their home basically, and are being referenced to a website that they don't have access to a computer, obviously. Now they've got to go ahead and figure out where they're going to get food and shelter tonight. So I hope that they've got something in place. Yeah. I know they brought in health services at one point a couple days ago, and I don't know if that's going to make any change now that these guys are, I mean, you're already dealing with mental health issues, but you got to deal now with this homeless population that's been living. And to keep it real, guys, the homeless folks in the park, there was a lot of them that were there before this ever took place. So now they've been rousted out and they've got their tents taken away from them, whatever they call home, and all their belongings. So yeah, that's crazy to hear. So for them to say that one of the protesters went in there, snatched some items, and then brought it out and put it in the back of a Department of Transportation vehicle is just ludicrous. I mean, that's just full-on ignorant to even say. What I don't get is how they had to have people out here stopping. How is no one even addressing that right now? Because you can see it from the other end. We've got, I mean, look at that. They got a dumpster who's picking up tents right now. If you can see that in the background, they got a front loader that's just picking up people's tents and throwing them in the back of a dump truck. And that's supposed to be getting cataloged right now so people can come pick that up later from this police dot blot. What was that? The S dot blotter? What was the, what was?
Can you do me a favor though and just go put it away? It's just got some nails in it. I don't want it used in any way that can be, you know, misconstrued or anything like that. Okay? There you go. It's pretty neat though.
Thank you. Now, what was that blotter where people could go find?
SPD blotter, they're going to post a link about property.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did see that, like, the front loader back there is just picking up.
To be honest with you, we're just concentrating on this side right now.
I
We're not
hear
even
you.
paying
Well, this, I mean, this is not a threat over here. You know
I totally
that.
understand
Yeah.
what you're saying, but we're just tasked with this side right now.
Yeah, I got you. So SDOT, this is all on SDOT then right now. Everything about the cleanup, that's all on them. And then was it navigation as well? The other team, the task force,
I know they're out here.
Yeah. Okay.
I can tell you where they are. I know they're out here.
You can't tell me where they are?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know where they are. Okay. Yeah. I was like, hopefully they're not a secret organization of some type.
I know they're out here though.
Okay. Yeah. And they're dealing with the homeless community. Is it kind of their task is?
Just anyone that's displaced, they'll offer services to.
There's a lot of people displaced right now. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I know. I think because we went to the park too. I think there was a greater need over there.
Yeah, we were out there. There was a lot of people that were getting pushed out of there. Well, I mean, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, so I mean, you got a lot of people that are getting woken up. But okay. Thank you. So there's the police blotter that you can find it. They're going to post a link on there where people can go ahead and apparently reclaim their items. What's going to be left, good luck. What's not been destroyed, again, good luck. What SDOT hasn't squirreled away in little hidey holes for themselves, good luck. Which is sad to see, because like I said, the original agreement that Mayor Durkin had in play was that she was going to allow a proper amount of time for people to go ahead and clear themselves out of here when the day came that they were going to go ahead and make that the pushback to reclaim. And obviously, that's not the case right now. You need to spin this thing for you again?
No. It's good.
You're good? Okay. Because what we heard, and as we showed up, you saw they were going about 5 feet by 5 feet, just marching down and kicking people out as they could. There's a handful of, I don't know how many people are actually arrested. We heard one of the unconfirmed numbers is 13, so I'm not sure exactly how many people are are detained right now, but that's also amnesty for protesters. Is one of the. Hey, did you see the guy? He tried to. So we just talked to the lieutenant, and this guy right here tried to say he said it was one of the protesters who grabbed that stuff and tried to put it in the back of the car.
Who said that?
This guy.
Lieutenant?
No, he's not lieutenant. Lieutenant was up here.
He's
the sergeant. Sorry. Yeah.
Whoever said that's mistaken.
Yeah.
The S.
Well, then he said that it was Rad that grabbed it. He said Rad's the one who took it.
No. No, absolutely not. The dude ran over there to that like Kia.
Yeah.
I walked up to. He like ran through here, like out of these cops, like in between these two cops, went across the street, went over there.
Yeah.
And me and Rad, we were like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
Like, is he really like? What are you doing? And so I went up and I was like, "What are you doing? Like, are you gonna are you taking this?" And he's like, "Everything in the zone is trash." And
He said everything in the zone is trash.
Verbatim. Everything in the zone is trash. And I was like, no, those are people's belongings. And then immediately he goes, oh, well, here, you can have it. You know what I mean? Like he's busted.
Yeah, you just got caught.
Yeah. If I see the kid, I'd recognize him immediately.
Hey, is it cool if we look in the back of this truck real quick? Well, what you got in the back of that truck right now is we just saw your front loaders pick up like shovel loads full of tents and belongings and dump them in the back of that truck.
Yeah, that's all people's shit.
That's check. This ain't West Seattle. This ain't where all the fucking big taxpayers live. So you
What is your stream called?
What's that?
What is your stream called?
Concrete reporting.
Without a warrant, we all seen you.
Is it on Twitch or something?
Yeah, Twitch, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube. If you got your phone, you can just go ahead and scan it. It'll take you right into it.
Come the fuck on.
You just hold it up. You don't even have to take a picture.
No, you just hold it up and then just.
There you go.
Did you say it was this officer?
But if you have a Twitch.
Oh, yeah, he said that he said that it was Rad that grabbed the stuff.
Confusion in terms of that SDOT employee.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, I heard.
Well, let's be real about it. You said that this guy was the one who grabbed the items.
No. I said that guy put it in the truck.
No, that's not what happened.
No, he walked over and put it in the back of the truck.
Are you talking about just now? Okay.
Of that truck.
What?
Ask Brad. He walked over there and put it in the back of the truck. He's got it back now.
When he was showing me where the SDOT employee put it originally?
Well, I'm just telling you who I saw put it in the back of the truck.
Yeah, he walked it over there just now and showed me.
Possession of that guitar because an SDOT employee said everything in the zone is trash.
Okay.
So they're taking people's belongings.
Well, sorry. I don't know. A lot of it's being taken and cataloged and it's going to be on that blotter. I don't know what is and what isn't.
Right.
But you're going to have to check and see what they've considered personal property and what they've considered garbage. I don't know where the dividing line is.
Rule 1.
I mean, a lot of it's pretty trashy, and some of it's probably decent stuff.
Nice instrument.
Some of it's been soaked in rain, and you know.
Well, here's the thing. He absolutely he said that, and then what he did was he's like, "Well, here, you can take it."
Well,
he knew he was busted.
I have no idea.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
we're not. SDOT's doing their cleanup, and we're out here.
Do you know who's running the SDOT crew?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Do you know
I assume it's somebody.
Is Director Zimbabwe here?
I have no idea.
What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen once you're all done in there and once you pull back? Is it gonna be?
I have no idea.
Okay. I'm imagining that it's gonna be another Western barricade situation where we got another line and another group of protesters wanting to take the East Precinct back again. I can't see any reason why we wouldn't go right back to that.
Yeah. Looks like they're slowly starting to dismantle the some of the woodwork, but I don't see anything coming off the walls of the precinct itself. So, I mean, one thing I just is something that just really struck me, and I'm glad you brought this to our attention, because that's, of all the things that are happening here, I know a lot of our viewers right now are saying that what they've seen has just been atrocious with the way that people were marched out of the park and, pulled out of their tents, and the way their homes were just ripped apart. And yeah, I mean, you may not like the fact that they're homeless, you may not like the fact they live in a tent, but if hard up, they've got a tent and that's their house, that's where they live.
And
so
what they have inside is their possessions, and
yeah.
If what we're saying is true, that's theft.
Yeah.
And is it not the police's responsibility to kind of, protect people from that, or
That would seem like
figure
one of
out
their-
what's going on.
Does come across as something you'd want to call the police about,
especially before it all gets taken and like completely, lost in time forever.
I mean, let's just be real about it. No one's going to get their stuff back.
No.
I mean, this blotter is going to come, maybe get put together. Who's going to put that together? I don't know. Who's going to be tasked with actually organizing, cataloging, and putting all this stuff in a storehouse somewhere? Is it going to a warehouse? Like, is there some kind of like S-Dot like garage that's going to be laid out and put through like an airplane crash? No, it's just. The stuff's gone. I mean, it's gone. Everyone just lost their stuff. That's just what happened. I mean,
I just saw one of the S-Dot guys put a whole tent that looked pretty much intact, like it was just folded up. And
in the back of that
threw it
Trinity
in the back
car?
of in that truck that I'm focusing on right now.
he was nodding at the other guy.
Might have been this kid right here.
Really?
Sergeant. I also want to ask the sergeant like, what's going to happen once they.
If hold on, I gotta talk, Sergeant. If it is a kid, I'd love to have him. Is that him? Hey, Sarge. Real quick. So that's the young man in question that we were talking about. Maybe you could ask him what's going on. That's the guy that pulled the stuff out and walked off with a computer and a guitar and put it in the back of his own car over here, or whoever car he came in.
Okay.
It said that it was trash, and everything in here was just trash. And he's like, "Oh, I just found it in here." And so it got taken back by the employees here, and he threw it in the back of his truck over here. So I know a lot of people. I mean, we've got thousands of people that are watching right now that are seeing that, and they're like, "Man, that's just straight up theft." I mean, wouldn't the police want to get involved in that?
Well, let me just go have a good chat with him. That's the most I can do right now.
Yeah, no,
we gotta figure this out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's good. Hopefully, the conversation will be taken. What happened with the young man, and they'll figure it out because. Well, good.
Oh, look! Wow, is the sergeant really gonna talk to him?
Good for him. I mean, if nothing else, man, the thousands of people that are looking at this, I mean, you want to have some accountability on some level.
Yeah,
And-
I mean, well, at least he didn't ignore it and say, "Well, sorry, I don't know." Like,
absolutely.
Well, I mean, the other dude isn't really, in charge. He's not the sergeant.
Yeah.
Still.
I mean, that's one of those red-handed situations. It's pretty blatant. You don't just walk off with someone else's belongings. It's not
Yeah.
yours.
Is there a traffic camera here on this block?
There's one down there.
There is?
Yeah. Well, no, I take that back. One down to the left, and then there were people live streaming this block.
I had a chat with him, and I got his name. That's what we can do right now.
Yeah.
We're not investigating anything right now. We're
Sure.
just trying to stabilize the area.
Sure.
So we can reduce the crime in the area.
Right.
And then that's yeah.
Other than that crime.
Well, reduce violent crime.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And then that stuff can be. I'm all recording, so
Okay.
that it can be taken care of later.
And so, and we've made it clear that these body cams are available for public record, so we can
Yeah,
go ahead and access those. So again, I mean, that's asking a lot of people that are just lost their computer to try to find a computer to figure out how they can get their computer back.
Yeah.
Well, luckily it was recovered by someone out here, but for any other items, I mean, what did he say? Did he say that that he just found it?
Chan, C-H-A-N. Yeah, he said he thought it was trash.
He thought it was trash.
A laptop and ukulele.
Okay.
Yeah, I get what you're saying though, and your job is to prioritize this line here and make sure that nothing happens. I get that.
Right now, we're
I
just
appreciate you
picking and
talking
choosing
to him.
what we can do, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much for doing that. Thank you.
All right.
Well, that's great. I mean, like I said, that's what this is all about, and I think that's what's important about what we're doing here, and what a lot of the other streamers have got going on is accountability and giving people a chance to see what's really happening. And people can't just walk off and do what they want. I mean, you got to be held accountable for what you're doing. So if this kid's in here, he's on document, you got his name, and that's fantastic. And so that was Sergeant Chan. And what was this badge number?
7424.
7424. So I know we got tons of people in here. It'll be docked up, you guys. So it's Sergeant Chan. 7424 is his badge number. He has the kid's name and information. He works for S-Dot, obviously. And one of the things to keep in mind is that the body cams for all these officers right now are all active, and they're all public access. So you can actually go ahead and pull body cams, and that conversation can be found online. I know there's tons of techies in here that can go ahead and pull that up probably before we even get into talking about this.
Question to make it a little easier. Can you maybe pinpoint the time around the time when he came out of here and went to the truck to put it in the back there?
Yeah, I would say that happened probably about 30 minutes ago, so roughly 9:15. And then Officer Chan looks like had a conversation with that gentleman at about 9:45. So in terms of the body cam footage, that's probably when we would want to.
Okay. Where did he walk out exactly? Was it right here?
Yeah, he came
like
right out
directly through here.
Yeah, right. His one like right around.
Okay.
He had the items in his hands, and like he went straight to that vehicle, and Brad and I were like, whoa, what's going on? What's going on? And then I walked up to him and I was like, that's people's stuff, and he's like, it's trash. Everything in the zone is trash. So I was like, you're just gonna take it then? And he's like, well, no, you can have it, and then fucking ran off. Then just then when I talked to him, he's like, I told you it's trash. Do you have anything else to say? And I was like, honestly, probably, yeah, I do, bro. And he's like, well, I got nothing else to say, and fucking turned his back and ran away.
So it got kind of like standoffish and hostile about it, yeah.
Were these officers posted here the entire time when he was walking through?
Yeah.
So, just saying, if I wanted to like see your body cam footage online, would I need your badge number to do that, or just your name? Well, it was only half an hour ago, so if you were here, then you would have caught it. I'm not saying you did anything, just maybe your body cam could help us see.
Yeah, one of the things the lieutenant said on the other side is if you ever want to get any information from anything happening out here, all the body cams are public record. So we just don't. How would you go about accessing that? Do you know?
I would just do the time and the location, because if you did.
There we go. Sorry, I didn't mean to get you off.
Oh no, that's okay. If you did the time and the location, like where you were at,
yeah,
you could probably figure out what officers. Oh, there's a truck coming.
Oh, the info's on the back.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can call that number.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's how you get it.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah,
that saves a lot of effort for
You
us.
just say anything around this time, and the people that are on
because
this thing, because we weren't out here, because
Right.
we just switched out with
Oh,
my
you
guys.
guys
just redid your line,
So
okay.
otherwise, you would get a case number, and then that's usually how you would get the.
Right.
Yeah, but there's no case number.
Got you. Okay. That's good. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So, you can see that right there. You want to picture it?
Oh, it's a little blurry. There we go. So, Office of Police Accountability. So, they're saying this is where you could go to get footage of the body cams.
Body cams, yeah.
Body cams are supposed to be public.
Yeah, and this is for the North Precinct Patrol is what they're talking about right in the back end here.
Don't let me ask it. I know you're the only one out here who's got your badge number.
Yeah.
Required by law to give me your badge number. Really? Really?
I don't feel safe not knowing your badge
Yeah,
number,
honestly, you're the only one out here with it covered, man.
Is your body cam covered?
Is it
No,
on?
it's not covered.
Is it on? I can't tell.
Yeah, where's the red ring? It ain't on.
I mean, honestly, we are allowed to ask for your name and badge
On
number,
top of
right?
that, it looks like your body camera's got a sticker right over the center. Mr. Yuck from Washington Poison Control. I'm sure you got that number in your phone already, so why you gotta have it on there? People got Google. So come on, man, what's your badge number?
I mean, they are legally required to give us their badge number and name, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Cool.
Right?
Fantastic.
I mean, just saying.
Looks like it's right up there on the right side of his earmuff. 7493.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sounds like that just still.
Fucking
Did you hear that?
One of our security leads up here for the last 3 weeks.
Did you hear that boom? Then the
Noises
dude's,
like
yeah!
that sound like fucking gunshots. Because that's how we respond to them.
If you see that,
that's how they're clearing out.
They're just ripping it up, just completely smashing it.
Shit, they're only a couple hundred pounds for those ones. They're not too bad.
Why are they digging in there?
I don't know.
Wait, is that? I'm trying to figure out what was there. Is that where they made like little gardens? I can't remember.
No. I think they're just smashing stuff is what they're doing. They're breaking it down. I think they're breaking barricades. Yeah, they're breaking the gardens.
Oh, I see, I
yeah,
see.
so they're.
Yeah. These are like the garden barricades right here.
I mean, I have no weapons. This is clearly a walkie-talkie. There's my vape in my pocket. Over here, my ID card and my external charging battery. My phone in my back.
That's kind of an asshole.
I haven't done anything violent. Pretty sure if you're gonna hit me with that, you're
Not the guy,
investigating
the cop.
something of a crime, so body cam should be on at that point. So, you tell me.
I'm more focused on this back here, man. Like that I think
I've been focusing on it for a little while.
Yeah, I think that everybody
Okay,
is.
Mr. 7493.
7493.
I think what's really a compelling part of the story right now is that all of this was so everybody knows what's going on. We're on the corner of 12th and Pike right now in the Chop in Seattle on Capitol Hill, which was previously the Chop, is now whatever they call it, the area that was formerly known as the Chop, I guess. But what you've got there is the dismantling of the encampment around the 12th precinct. First thing you'll see here is all the barricades are gone. The SDOT's coming and taking all those out. Now they're using all the heavy machinery, those cats, to scoop up and grab, claw up all of the tents and remaining items that are left on the other side of the barricades. And
yeah, I mean, you can see, like, you see the blue? Those are all tents, and they belong to somebody.
Yeah.
Definitely not being cataloged, as we were told. Which is just, yeah, somebody actually just said what I was about to say.
So one of the questions I just saw, and Seattle
in
Police
this chat,
Department.
they're not helping the case that, like, that the cops act in bad faith. Like, if they just keep lying about things like this, like, if you're trying to build trust in the community, this is not the way to do it.
I got to say something real fast. So the sergeant said, he said, "I'm just here to prevent crime," is what I'm doing here. They're all up in Rad's car now.
Are they in his car?
Hey, Rad. Oh, they were scoping your. They're like
I know. They
pulling
already
up your
broke
stuff.
into my car, you guys. They broke into my car already.
So one of the things like you're looking at right now, Ian, is that so the sergeant said that he's here to prevent crime, and I mean in jest I was kind of like, well, yeah, the crime over here, but not that crime. But what he was saying is they're here to prevent any violent actions from protesters or anybody on this side of the lines. But he said that what would normally, and one of the other officers had mentioned that what you normally do if there was a situation is you go off a case number, but there's no case numbers being filed right now because the effort is being contributed or attributed to maintaining peaceful involvement with the police on this side of the line. Which, I mean, if you can see with anything up until the initial clash, everything has been peaceful. There hasn't been the violence that we have seen in the CHOP has come large in part from the outside of the CHOP moving its way in, and it's been a real mix of things here.
Hopefully, I was just about to say maybe they could let him just get his car. It's right there. It'd be a good gesture of faith.
Anytime you hear the police say, "Can I just chat with you for a minute?" that's always a hair-raising situation.
Of course. I mean, and you saw his initial reaction. He's like,
he just said, "You're not going to arrest me," and he said, "No."
Yeah, but that was his first thought. Like,
but I guarantee they've run his plates, and I wonder if there's anything outstanding, or if there's bad tabs, or if there could be anything that could be an incident that might come up from this.
I'm going to assume that the sergeant is going to let him get.
I mean, I got to say, everyone that we've talked to so far on the police line has been, helpful and informative, and well,
Hey-o! Okay, so they're gonna let him have his car, which is nice. It does seem like the sergeant's trying to keep it pretty peaceful on the barricade over here, or on the line.
Though I'm sure that at this point, SDOT would have loved to scooped it up with one of those backhoes and dropped it in the back of a truck.
They say the audio keeps going off like static.
Well, it's because you were too far away from me.
Oh.
So.
Is it still doing it?
Yeah, are we still getting issues with the audio?
Yeah, it should be better.
Yeah.
I was trying to get a good view of.
No, you had the right idea. You had the right idea.
Yeah, because I couldn't see around that truck, and if they were trying to get in there.
What's wild is, and they've done it slowly, but when we first got out here, there was hundreds of police and mixed units. We had some people from the gang unit down there. We've had navigation mixed in here. We've got SPD there. And I couldn't even begin to tell you. We had a gentleman who was a special agent for the ATF who was down on the other side, at least according to his badge. But they've slowly kind of dissolved the number of officers they have out here. And they started doing that pretty quick. I know we saw that on one of our the first part of our stream. They had buses that had brought in the officers, and they were kind of slowly the smaller buses kind of peeled out, and then one of the larger buses left. And now they've got the barricade police, as people come to call them, which is the bicycle police, and they kind of maintain that perimeter, and they do that rotation. So you're going to see like every hour or so they kind of rotate out.
Look down there, rad. Not only are they okay, so it looks like they're not going to his car exactly, but they're letting him look through the rubble. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, if anything, about Rad from our experience with him is that he, like I said, he's a character. He's outspoken. He's very vocal. And he's definitely not one to bite his tongue. So I'm sure if he's got an open ear, he's going to go ahead and open his mouth and have something to say to him. I'm curious where all the mainstream media went. You know, we had at one point we had Fox down here and some of the other major media outlets. I think they might have just peeled out or left. I know we had some of them down on Broadway in Pine. But again, the perimeter for what was the CHOP has been pushed back quite a bit. This was kind of like one of the unofficial pushback borders where they had some makeshift barricades, but the actual concrete installments were down a block. So this has been kind of like the DMZ, or kind of like the no man's land. And that's kind of been the fringe blocks, even down Pike down to 11th. That median between Pine and Pike on 11th and 10th have all been kind of open areas for parking and whatever. But I mean, as you can see in the background here, what you've got is backhoes and front loaders and all sorts of heavy machinery just scooping up everything from the CHOP, all of the occupied area on the other side of the barricades that were up against the 12th precinct. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is that the folks here made it very clear that they weren't leaving, and that if the police came with force, they were going to meet them with force. And I think that the realization that like this is a much bigger force, especially when you see they had SWAT vehicles out here and full riot cops. So, I mean, there's no way that you're going to be able to battle back.
I think I just noticed something. Can you?
Yeah.
That's not so unusual. That's fine. It's just that I thought that you noticed that no pepper spray, bottles of water, and then this guy's got the pepper spray out. But it does seem like
there's one there.
A lot of them do. So that's fine.
I think a lot of them carry it on their hip too.
Like it just looks like like you come into fight and you just brandish it like that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they were expecting more pushback than they got too.
Probably.
So, in all fairness.
Yeah, probably. You can see Rad down there now. You can see him. He's got his driver's side car door open and talking to the sergeant still. Looks like they're letting him come out, which is good. Because you don't know, like maybe, a piece of cement, they're trying to break through a piece of cement, it hits his car, breaks his window, The sergeant does seem like a decent enough guy. And here comes Rad. All right. And also, I'll give credit where credit is due. I mean, like, they're letting him drive through with his car.
Like he drove to the most. He drove to the thickest part of it.
Yeah, I know. And he is a protester, So there's a chance that he could do something crazy.
Did they ticket him? What is there a ticket? And then they cataloged his car.
Oh, did they actually?
Did they catalog your car?
Look at his face. Yep, he's like.
That's for the cataloging, right? That yellow one. On his antenna.
No, that was from like when they were picking things up.
Oh, we saw them putting those on tents out in the backside over there.
Oh, maybe they cataloged. I'm not too sure.
I mean, they said they were cataloging everything, so.
Well, yeah, now that he claimed it, now they don't have to do anything. He
That's-
claimed it for himself.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to see because I know that Brad was. I mean, he's pretty vocal when things don't really go the way that you'd want them to go. So that's not the guy you want out here snapping on him.
Well, I'm glad he got his stuff back.
Yeah.
I'm glad he got his property. It's not.
What's under your windshield wiper?
So.
Oh, to yourself. Okay.
Permanent parking ticket.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if you got like a
parking
violation
Oh, dude,
right now.
just
like,
right
they,
now.
like,
To pull him over.
Knocked on his window. They're like,
Whoop, yeah, like this guy. Whoop whoop. Yeah. Sir, you made an illegal turn there, right? You didn't use your blinker when you pulled out of here. Like, oh man. Yeah.
Yes. Actually, that's something that somebody in the chat is talking about. The protesters here are overwhelmingly peaceful. We haven't seen any kind of agitation, nothing, no water bottles, no IEDs, aka candles.
I mean, even if you look across the street, a lot of them have moved their way over to covering.
Protester saying thank you. This is a peaceful protester saying thank you. This is a peaceful
Like I said, Rad's one to speak.
Now can you guys please release the rest of my peaceful protesters immediately? Immediately? Sarah, look it up. That's what we need. Release my peaceful protesters. Please. Y'all can do it. Get on it. Radio in. Please.
So, what I'm wondering here now is, what is the plan next? What's the next step? So we.
Oh, me or them?
No, not you.
Them.
Oh. Time is it? It's 10. Okay.
10, yeah,
we
got
got
10.
a bunch of time. So I'm just thinking because I got to work today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not till 3:30 or something though. So. So what I'm thinking is, I got a couple questions for the sergeant, but it's gonna be hard to get his attention again.
Yeah, no, he actually has been incredibly informative and helpful.
He has actually. Every time we called him, come over. Credit
Here,
where credit is due.
This is the card we got from the officer. So if you guys can see that, that'll be helpful for anyone that wants to go ahead and look into the body cam information.
Screenshot it. And all right.
All right, cool. And then the last thing is the backside here. Got it?
Yep.
All right, cool.
So makes me wonder, is that another protester getting their car?
Look like it might be a resident, or maybe somebody who's helping like run the S-Dot crew, like a foreman of some type. But if you look down there, I mean, look at the front of that.
Oh yeah.
Watch.
There you go.
Oh, he cleared that out.
Thank you.
Really fast.
I mean, it is impressive how quick this is all coming down. I mean, it's been about 5 hours since they came in and started the march in. And I mean, you're already to a point where they got a push broom out. I mean, that's, if nothing else, they're moving quick. But you can see up on the end here, if you step over here to the left a little bit, you can see like the tail end of the barricades coming down off 12th over there on the other side of Pine.
That guy's showing support.
He muddled something with a thumbs up about chop.
Chop and thumbs up. Maybe he was saying
it's about time they took part. Yeah, I mean, we could say that. There's been a lot of people that have driven by that have had, cheering the police on, which is, like we've got mixed reviews from everyone we've interviewed. From residents in the area, business owners. But, some of them have been 100% in support of what's happening, and then you've got some that are, animately against what's been going on with the occupation out here. So.
There's no such thing as constitutional right.
Oh, this is the guy we talked to right here. He lives on the corner of 12th and Pine. We interviewed him yesterday, remember?
Oh, yeah, that is him. Are you sure?
Yeah, he lives in that building right here.
Are we sure that's the same guy there?
It looks...
Yeah. Well...
They all look the same to me, people. Oh, man, this guy. Man, you're about to get a headache.
He's not wrong, but...
All right. I mean, he's got some good information, but...
I don't think that's the same guy. Yeah, but it's just like...
No, it's different guy.
We're trying to interview somebody, it's...
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Look at what's going on right here. We got... Maybe that's like the relief crew.
That's lunch break. These guys are all...
Is that lunch break?
Yeah, these guys are all snacking.
Yeah.
They're going to come over here with a panini and make you jealous. And I would love if we had somebody in a car, like if Rad would follow. What's crazy is that UPS guy just boxed Rad in. He honked at him and pulled in right behind him.
I know.
No, but it'd be interesting to have one of those, the dumpsters, like the loaders that they've been putting everything in. I'd have to be curious to see where they're going. You know what I mean? Have somebody follow them in a car.
Yeah. So this is a relief crew right here. This is
No, we will. Can she stay?
Can she stay?
We got dibs on these two. We got dibs. Everybody wants to talk to them. They've got fans. Y'all got fans. I guess. Are they good guys? All right. We got like 10,000 people right now that don't agree. They'd rather talk to you guys.
How many viewers do you have?
Between all of our platforms, we've had probably up to 7,000 to 8,000. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, the follow-up, we'll probably have a couple 100,000 views on this by the end of the day.
I haven't even checked the analytics from last night.
Who you guys with?
Concrete reporting. Yeah.
Independent.
What'd you guys do? Clear everybody out.
Yeah.
I know, where'd everybody go? You guys...
I nodded off, man. Turned around for 2 seconds.
You disappointed?
Well, no, not everybody. He's here. That guy's here.
Yeah.
So, what's it? Why do you guys all got the yellow? What's that Watchman thing?
Watchmen, no, yeah. So it's just our squad colors. So whenever we're riding our bikes, it's so we can find each other. That's all.
Well, there's like 100 bikes running around. It's hard to tell just by like.
Got you. Okay.
So yeah. So
you see this.
Yeah.
You can see it from like a mile away.
Right. Yeah. No. That's bold. That's bright. Can you guys share bikes? What's up?
Well, we have our own bikes.
Where are your bikes?
Or like personal bikes?
Well, I mean, not the one you ride around the neighborhood, but I mean, like.
This is mine.
Oh, okay. So the ladies that were just up here, those aren't their bikes?
They were just standing by while we. Yeah, we just got a break. So these are ours.
All right. Well, they're gonna be missed.
That's what it's supposed to do when it's on, right? It blinks.
So yeah, there's a mode where you can actually put it so there is no red on it, and that's kind of just so say you're in like a dark spot or something. It right, exactly, because if not, it's like a target on there. So there's a mode for that. But you can ask an officer and they'll tell you if it's recording. Like right now, I'm recording, obviously.
Yeah. The guy that you just relieved was not telling us anything.
Oh, really?
His badge number, not his name.
He said, "I'm not talking to you. Move along."
Sorry to hear that, guys.
No, he had on the side of his helmet, so it wasn't like. These guys were chowing down.
No, it's all right. Thank you.
Hey, were you guys just down on the end of Pine down there?
No, we were just inside. We were just taking a break.
Inside the precinct?
Yep.
What's it like in there right now?
Not bad. Not bad.
It smells, right?
Yeah, it smells real bad.
One of the things we did see was on the alley side, there's a side door. We looked in that window. There's big piles of garbage in there.
Yeah.
Like garbage. Was that left behind by the police or?
No.
Well, because I don't think anybody's been in that we know of, been inside the precinct.
There were a few people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you guys had was there vandalism inside there and stuff?
No, I don't. Not much. It was more trash and stuff like that than anything. There was a lot of people here that were trying to stop people from going into the precinct.
Right.
So none that we have seen yet.
Yeah. Is it look habitable? I mean, anytime soon, or is it going to take a while to get it back up to operational standards?
It's probably going to take a bit.
Yeah. Have you seen from inside there any of the cleanup crew that's been going on here? Any of the cleanup efforts?
Only just walking by.
Because man, we've had this whole thing going on out here with the sergeant and one of the SDOT guys that was he was just pulling stuff out of here. Like he pulled a computer and that ukulele over there, and he just walked out and loaded into his own car. And he got stopped by people out here. He walked through the police line.
Oh, really?
And they were like, "Hey, where are you going?" He's like, "Oh, I just found it in here. It's all trash."
Who was he with?
He's with SDOT.
Oh, really?
So the sergeant talked to him, and he's like, "Well, all I can do is get his name right now."
Yeah.
He's like, "We're here to stop crime right now." And I was like, "Well, isn't him stealing things from people that are?" That's their.
It's a fair question to ask.
Well, yeah, and he was like, "Well, we're here to stop violent crimes."
Was he putting it in the SDOT truck?
Yeah, he threw it in the back of an S, and he's like, "Oh, it's mine." And then when they got confronted, he's like, "Oh, you can have it here. It's yours." And the guy was like, "No, man, you're stealing it." And he was like, he got caught.
You told the sergeant about it?
Yeah, and he talked to him, and he said, we can follow up with, badge or
exactly,
body cams.
The whole thing is anything that's like artwork or anything like that. I know that they are putting it in. They talk to each resident in the tent. They let them know how to retrieve their belongings and stuff like that. So they have a whole process for that.
Were they allowed to take things with them?
Yeah, only like immediate things, because a lot of times this had to be a fast process, and so they were allowed to get cell phones, IDs, anything that was real personal, and then we had people that connected with them and said, "Here's how you get the rest of your belongings."
Okay. Because what we've seen here is these bulldozers are like you know, just
Well,
scooping everything up.
There's a lot of trash. There is a lot of trash.
Yeah.
Do you know what the plan is for the Black Lives Matter mural? We saw a bunch of cones around it.
I know they plan on taking stuff like that, and they're gonna try to get it into. I don't remember what they said exactly, but it's gonna be used for like some type of people in the community. They're gonna get it for like, you know, the community center or something like that.
Well,
at some
the
point.
one we're talking about is the one that's painted in the road all the way between 10th and 11th.
Oh, that one. I'm not sure what they're gonna do.
There was cones all around it, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're planning on like.
That could be they're trying to preserve it, or that could be that they're marking the area for like repainting or something.
Well, we did see no vehicles driving over it, so maybe
I know that'll be up to the city and SDOT more than anybody.
I would assume maybe like the cones were to stop vehicles from driving on it because there's only.
It's possible. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Any of it's possible.
When were you a part of the initial march that went through and cleared out?
Mm-hmm.
So we heard there was a couple people that had to get pepper sprayed.
Not from any of my group, so I'm not really part of any of that part of it. But at the same time, if they were, you know, aggressive, they were, you know, forceful, anything like that, officers are gonna, you know, use safety on their end.
Yeah.
So.
Well, how many people would you say ended up getting arrested? Because I know they were.
I think I only know what our blotter is saying right now. Our blotter, I think, says 31 right now.
31? That's a lot more than we heard. That's wild. Did this go about how you guys planned it? I mean, would you say it went smooth? I mean,
personally, I think it went pretty well.
I know
there was a lot of concern because of the weapons and everything like that, and so, you know, we just wanted everybody to be safe when it comes down to it.
Right. Yeah. I know that it went pretty quick. I know they were stomping through the park pretty fast, armored vehicles.
Well, that was the whole point. We wanted it to be quick.
Yeah. How much time did you have to get ready for this?
For us personally, not long.
Because I know that Mayor Durkin signed the emergency decree at 2 a.m. I mean, you guys just got all your gear in a bag or duffel, and they just give you the APB. Is that how that works? And they're like, or were you guys kind of ready to do this? Was this kind of something that was staged up?
We've been ready since the moment that it was taken. It was just a matter of getting the order to go.
Okay. So your pagers get blown up, or your whatever you guys carry now?
Something like
that.
Yeah.
All right. Because that's a lot of people to organize.
Yep.
Because it's a multi-department situation. You got. We saw people from ATF. We saw a gang unit. Of course, SPD. We've seen the bike side. We've seen. Everything.
Yep.
That's wild.
Well, I know for us, all of us Yellow Scarfs, this is our precinct. So, you know, we definitely wanted to get back to it. So
yeah,
it's been weird working patrol and not being able to come into this area.
Where have you been operating out of?
Different areas, West Precinct, headquarters, and we've kind of just been moving us all over.
Was there a lot of high tension down in the West Precinct when that window got smashed out?
I wasn't there.
I know I saw a lot of. We've been covering that, and we did see there was like the riot police were geared up that day, but then most of the days we didn't even see any presence in the precinct.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I've been dealing with just bike stuff and just doing patrol up here on Capitol Hill. So
That's wild.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the only thing we've seen up here probably, and maybe you can second this, is like the private security are the only guys we've really seen in like police gear. You know, the guys that are down at the auto shop.
Oh yeah.
Western Security, or whatever they're called.
Were they the one? They were guarding the.
They were just doing a foot patrol. They were walking around handing out business cards to businesses and fully flacked up the whole nine. I mean, they were probably more loaded than you are right now. It's pretty wild to see.
Yeah.
But that was yesterday. I think we did that interview.
I mean, since we gave it up, I mean, I hadn't been anywhere close to this area. We weren't coming in unless it was a life safety. So.
Right. Speaking of that, so with the shooting the other day, we did see that the ambulance and the fire trucks pulled out of the department up there, but never made it into this area to act for anything. I know the police came in, or the homicide detectives came in thereafter, but
I don't know much about it. Yeah. And not to mention it's an active investigation.
Right, you can't talk about that. Yeah. Well, you've been up here, but let me ask you, what's up? Well, one thing I'd ask you, I mean, anyone from the area who's been around the area, they understand that like there's crime in this area no matter what you do or how you play it, right?
Stay safe.
Thank you, man.
I mean, Capitol Hill is not void of crime.
Sure, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's still going on. I mean. fucked up again. You fucked up again. Apparently you need.
I didn't think he was going to be an advocate for the.
You need the bibbies to help you out. You can't handle your own shit. Cool.
Hostilities run high on both sides.
So we heard from one of the other officers over on one of the barricades or one of the lines over there that once SDOT's done with what they have to do, clean up and everything, that the plan is to get back into the precinct and then let traffic and people through here again.
I would hope so. I don't know. They haven't briefed us personally on that, but I mean that would be nice. To kind of get everything opened up, let cars and people start just moving through freely and stuff again.
I can't see any situation where we don't end up like the same thing as it was right before you guys pulled out.
That's a worry from everybody.
So yeah. So I'm just wondering if obviously never mind. You can't really tell.
A lot of people may have changed their perspectives on that whole occupying thing, just because the whole point of it in the beginning, and I think a lot of the reason why they opened it up was just because they wanted to march past, and they gave them a chance to march past the precinct, and then they occupied it. So.
Right. Obviously, you can't talk about what you would do in that situation, but I just can't see any situation where we don't end up right back where we started. So
yeah,
I think that's a fear for all of us. Nobody wants to be there again, but at the same time, if we need to be, we need to be.
Was it in the take back here? Would you say it was more important to just reclaim the precinct, or just to reclaim the territory?
I think it's just the territory. It's been so unsafe. There's been so much crime in it. I mean, just working the patrolling aspect of it, there's so much crime that's been happening inside, and people have been calling us from the inside of here nonstop. And for safety, we couldn't come in because we don't want to meet other people with weapons and have that. So they've been meeting us on the outside of the borders and stuff on patrol. And I mean, they still want our assistance, but at the same time, they wanted us gone. So it was kind of one of those things where, I don't know. It was
catch-22.
I think it's more a matter of trying to just normalize the area for everybody, the businesses, the people who live here, all that.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we can understand that too, because there has been. I mean, especially with the last shooting that was here, but.
Yeah.
But I mean, what would you say was like the thing that you came across the blotter the most, or the scanners, as far as calls that you were getting
from inside here?
Yeah.
Assaults, people in crisis, rapes, all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Not good, especially whenever we're here to protect people and you feel like you can't.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the whole defunding thing?
I don't know. I think it's going to be up to the city of Seattle, the people of Seattle.
Right.
It's up to them. I'm here to keep people safe. That's my job.
Yeah.
Follow-up question on that, actually. A lot of the he's going off.
Oh, baby! What you think about this, baby? Just gotta get out. Just gotta get right out about it.
Yes! Fuck it!
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah!
And the chop, you can see the bulldozer in the back there. I don't know.
So, I mean, I definitely think, there's no, so it's crisis response unit. So they have mental health professionals that are there with the Seattle police officers, and it's a unit. I've worked with them before. They go out there, and the mental health professionals actually will be the ones contacting the people, talking to the people, and we're there for their safety. I mean, so that unit already exists. They don't talk about it much, but I mean, they do really good work. But at the same time, I've talked to a lot of, DCRs and mental health professionals and asked them how they felt about doing it, just out of curiosity, because like I said, I think a conversation is always good to have. And, a lot of them say, without you guys being here, I really wouldn't want to do this because of my safety. And I mean, there's times where, a DCR will have to go for, a person in crisis, and, they may have, invol, but they need us with them, and so.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, there's times where they go and they don't need us with them, and they'll handle it. So there's stuff in place, but can it be better? I think it can be. It's just a matter of, like I said, there's a lot of conversations that are going to be had.
Yeah, it's just as long as all parties are open to conversing.
Like
see if we got any other.
I'm guessing that's a resident. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I guess you would have to show proof that you lived there to get through.
Yeah, so right now during this.
Is that how you're dealing with residents?
Right now, yeah. Any businesses, residents right now, they just have to show proof and then they can go in. Like I said, I hope the street's open and people can just go freely. We'll see how that goes.
Let's you wanna everything going okay? Oh,
you go. I was checking our feeds.
You wanna try and get another perspective, like since we've been talking to the police for so long.
Yeah.
Maybe try and get somebody that's really passionate. I would have totally interviewed Trumpet guy. He didn't talk to us much, but
last time, well, he got what he wanted. The police showed up. Remember, last time we were out here, he was in the middle of the road.
He was just smashing.
Yeah, he's been here since the beginning.
Yeah.
I remember the day that the police arrested him when he was on a bucket, and he was the only one left, and they just took him. Yep.
What happens in that situation? Is it a book and release type thing?
Which one? What did he get? What was he doing?
It was the night when it was the Western Barricade, and he was basically like the only one there after it had been cleared out. And I think it was like if you're in the area, you'll be arrested thing. And he just put a bucket down, stood on it right in front of the police line, and just played his trumpet until they came and took him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't there for that, but I mean, on something like that, if you're ordered to disperse and you don't, then...
Is it true that trumpeteering is a second-degree felony?
I doubt that.
What if you're really bad at it?
I mean, I don't know. I've heard some good music since I've been out here, and then some bad. So, to each his own, right?
He's good. I'm sure he got a pass. Maybe a gross misdemeanor or something. All right, man, we're gonna keep. Hey, thanks so much, man.
Yeah,
appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate your openness and transparency.
Yeah, it's been informative. Thank you so much. We're on Concrete Reporting if you want to tune in later.
You're famous now.
Yeah.
6,000 people.
Yeah, world famous. Your arm's freezing up on you?
No, ever since I broke my left arm, the cold makes it.
Oh yeah, how did that happen again?
I don't want to talk about it.
No, I really want to hear the story. I'll just make something up later. Man, it's crazy. You see they're just throwing coolers and blankets and.
Yeah, you really do. Oh, actually,
here's a good angle. Yeah.
Because it looks like they've kind of piled a lot of it up.
And then they're going to come in with a big front loader and they're going to grab it all and throw it in the back of that truck.
Who knows what's in that pile?
It's all going to get thrown in the back of that dump truck, though. They said it was all garbage.
I would like to get maybe an interview from the opposite perspective, somebody who's passionate and wants to talk from the protesters' perspective, because that's what we're about.
Absolutely.
Seeing everything and
I know we've got some loud voices that are around. Maybe not up here. Maybe we can find.
I saw Rick, northern entrance.
Yeah, Rick was over there. We saw him.
Not here.
He's on the north. Yeah, he's all the way down by Denny. Yeah, that's where originally we were. We got marched out of the park with Rick.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, so tired.
Yeah, I'm sleeping. Second day on the job. This internship's.
Do you remember?
It's gonna kill you, bud. Yeah. It's our new intern here.
Lucky Bamboo is our new intern. This is his second day on the job.
Lucky Bamboo 13.
You're supposed to be showing up with water by now. How many times I gotta tell you?
Get him his water, Lucky. Do your job. We don't pay you to do nothing with nothing for no good reason.
No cookie this time?
No cookie this time. I ate the cookie too.
You're this close, bud. You're this close. All right. You're this
thin
close.
Ice, man. Thin ice.
Real thin ice. You're about to lose your internship to this phone.
I don't know if you kept up after we met yesterday, but after you guys disappeared, we streamed for I think it was 15, 16 hours straight.
Yeah.
Just taking shifts. When he had to go get his dog and walk his dog, he lives way far away, and Shay came up, and so we tag teamed it until Shay took off, and then CJ showed up right back, and then we went home. And we were like, oh, we finally get some sleep. I passed right the fuck out at
I didn't even fall asleep.
2 a.m.
Yeah.
No, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And then at 4:30 or 5.
Yeah.
We got
actually it was SPN that started hitting me up. They were like, "Yo, you need to get this going down." I was like, "No!"
And I just bolted into my living room and just threw on clothes and just
Didn't have time to call a stylist or anything?
Well, it's funny because CJ, I noticed I missed a call from CJ, and I'm like, CJ, what's up? He's like, dude. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, are we going? He's like, I'm already almost over the point.
Yeah. I'm 10 minutes from your house right now.
He's like, I'm 10 minutes away. I'm like, shit. All right, let's go.
So is this how you guys saw it would go down?
No.
Also, like, we knew it was gonna be quick, but fuck, man, like, we're really, really disappointed we weren't here for like the beginning to the end. But you know,
let's see if you can get. Did he just fall down? Oh, he just did a slide stop. He's showing off.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you know, we can't all be Amari with the cool studio inside the shop. So
well, plus he just flat out said he's like, well, I'm main media. Like he works with. He said flat out, he's like, well, I'm with Cairo or Como, one of the two. Like.
Well, Converge is. I don't think Converge is part of them.
He mentioned something like that he's working with.
I don't want to put that out there because
no, I don't know. I think that maybe they reached out to him and they were like, hey, we need to go ahead and get. Because he does have an amazing angle on things.
And when you're that good of and that well known in the community, like that, you get afforded those privileges.
Right.
To be like called first and stuff, and hopefully one day we can establish credibility with the community enough to get those kind of tips too.
Yeah. Plus, he's got a cool drone.
Yeah,
I think he called it Converge too.
Oh, dude.
I saw it over us the whole time in the park. It was just flying low. I'm like, that's
another thing.
The Converge
Do
drone.
you have the drone, or you guys have the drone?
No, yeah, we got it.
You guys got the
But we just broadcast all of our footage on Converge's site.
Okay. All right, let's try to get an interview with somebody that's passionate about what's going on here.
We can check out the other barricades down here.
Yeah. Well.
Otherwise,
we got rat already.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna walk. Oh, man. I'll tell you, there's a big difference between the bicycle guys, like, because they all look actually fit. You know what I mean? Like, these guys look like they could actually, like, carry weight.
Camera helps.
Yeah. Let's say there's a night and day. You guys are all this. You guys are much different look for the your crew, like coming out of here. People have been noticing, like, well, what's up with these new guys, man? They all look like they work out together or something. I was like, well, you guys ride every day. They're like, yeah, those other guys don't look like they could do shit. Like, they were giving you compliments, is what they were saying. All right.
Stonewall.
Yeah, that was harsh.
As it happens.
Yeah, right.
All right, so did we ever go all the way over to the other barricades? He's just waving at people.
She waved at me.
She waved.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. People in the chat seem to like the fact that we're trying to seek out somebody that has a strong view.
Yeah.
From the protesters' side.
I mean, I was excited. I mean, I'm glad we got that information from the police, though, because, I mean,
that guy gave us more information than anybody all day.
Yeah, totally.
To be honest.
And it was cool. We got a chance. The sergeant was able to get involved.
Sergeant helped a lot too.
He's a good dude. I mean, a lot of the people we've talked to have been cool, other than the one guy with the raincoat on that was push on. I'm not going to talk to you about anything.
Fucking asshole.
Total dick. But you have seen that these guys have been doing their best to, like, okay, so what you're seeing, the guys that have been cool are doing what all cops, I feel, should do, the police officer should do, is be a liaison. They're like, all right, cool, this is the police force, this is you, here's me, I'm going to go ahead and step forward, and I'm going to be a liaison to make sure that this bridge is kept healthy. And I think that's the problem, that they don't have that. You got guys like Raincoat that are like, get out of here, and you're like, well, man, I'm just asking you a question, you don't need to be like that,
Somebody says, what's the atmosphere like here? Is it tense or relaxed?
Honestly, my general take, it depends on who you ask. Asking me, it's really lax. Super lax, actually.
Seem relaxed.
Like,
the protesters seem
you've got the cops were eating sandwiches and cookies and drinking coffee on the line. I mean, that kind of stuff.
The protesters also don't really have much recourse right now. They don't have really many options.
And you got to say that there's not a lot of protesters here. I mean, they came in at 5 o'clock in the morning and did their best to, like the officer up there just said, they came in at 5 and they wanted to move fast and get everybody out quick.
Big barricade. Like, we've got a lot of protesters over there. We've got a lot of protesters on this barricade over here. This one seems more just like not important.
This has been the load unload zone that they've had. So this is where you've had like the buses where they all came in on. This whole block all the way down to the backside has been full of nothing but police vehicles. And it looks like they've all cleared out from down here. This was probably 7 or 8 SUVs. They had another small bus down there, or a short bus if you're going that route. But then you got, they've all cleared out. We saw, I mean, right off the bat, actually, pretty quick, we saw at least 20 to 30 officers that were walking out. And they slowly started, like, I was about to say de-escalating their force, but I think that's the goal for everything. But they started slowly kind of reducing the amount of force they had present here. Yeah. Well, thank you for the feedback. Everyone just got. Yeah. But what you got in here is still the remain. So they still haven't got done. SDOT. I mean, I got a real bad taste in my mouth with this whole SDOT thing.
Yeah,
with everything that I've seen, personal property. We've seen them stealing personal property, destroying personal property, and just flat out, we had to have the sergeant talk to the guy. And it's really frustrating because the one thing the sergeant said was like, "All I can do is get his name. I'm here to stop crimes." And I was like, well, what about him stealing people's
crimes, right?
Well, he followed up, and I was like, crimes. I was like, oh, other than those crimes. And he was like, well, I mean violent crimes. And I was like, oh, I guarantee maybe one of these protesters is going to get a little violent when they see someone robbing them of their possessions. But he was like, all I can do is get his name. So we got all the badge number info and the card we can go into. We can pull footage from the cam and get his name. We also have, it was Sergeant Chen, I believe. So if you need to contact him directly, they can go ahead and do that. Get the guy's name that actually... Chan, I couldn't hear too well.
Chan or Chan? But
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too hard.
We got it there. Anyway, what we got down here, what I was saying is SDOT still has to come in and get these barricades here. They're busy shoveling and scooping and pulling apart everything up by the precinct. But we're right down here on the corner of Pike and 11th right now. And what you're looking at down here is Pine and 11th, which has been... that intersection was actually pretty well prominently known throughout this CHOP occupation for being kind of a center spot where they had Native American drum circles with the Duwamish tribe. There's been a convergence zone for a lot of the marching. There was just on the other side of Pine over there on 11th. That intersection was actually pretty well prominently known throughout this CHOP occupation for being kind of a center spot where they had Native American drum circles with the Duwamish tribe. There's been a convergence zone for a lot of the marching. There was just on the other side of Pine over there on 11th was the kind of the conversation station. What did you call it?
It was called the Conversation Cafe.
The Conversation Cafe, which was an open forum for people to talk about
Anti-racism, decolonization.
Decolonization, anti-racism, reform, just a lot of ideology and base concept and belief. So what you've got up here is... now they've got the remaining barricades, which these are the last ones I'm seeing. It looked like they'd pulled all of the ones off of Pine. Well, I know they've gotten all of the ones off of 12th running beside the precinct. And they said originally, Mayor Jenny Durkin was saying that they were going to come in and pull the barricades. All the other barricades, except for the ones that are around the police station. Now, the ones around the police station have been pulled first, and these ones are still remaining, but it'd be hard pressed. I think one of the things we did kind of get from that officer we talked to was that they've been geared. They knew this was going down. I think Jenny Durkin knew that this was going to happen. They waited and waited and waited, and they got it to a point where and I'm sure they were monitoring things as best they could, and they saw that it was as minimal occupancy as possible. They loaded up as many people as possible, and they were like, all right, now's the time. We're going to come in and do it.
They knew that this had to be done in a very specific way.
Absolutely.
You know, they had to come in here. It had to be quick. It had to be early. It had to be at a time when there was as low occupancy as possible. And you remember several hours before they came in, we walked through. Yeah. We didn't film it because we even said on our wrap up that we didn't really want to walk up there and show all their like their defenses and the way that they were fortifying. But at the same time, we walked up there and people were, you saw them. They had barricades and they had fortified the barricades with extra fencing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it looked like a normal night.
I think what's wild about this whole occupation is that people got scared off, and the shootings and a lot of the things. There was a lot. I mean, a week ago, you'd have seen 10 times as many people in the CHOP on any given day, and then it made its way all the way down to where you're looking at it now, which is, or yesterday, not even 12 hours ago, you were looking at it in a totally different light. There was a mere fraction of the people that have been here actually occupying the CHOP. So. I think what we're going to do now is try to make our way around to the Pine and Broadway and take a look at that entrance to that barricade. I'd be curious to see what's going on in the park too. I think a lot of people might want to see what's happening. If you guys are curious what's happening over in Tent City where they tore all of that down.
Okay. Somebody wants to know. Shit. Yeah, it's hard because on Streamlabs the comments go away. But Escobar, I think, was saying they want to know how we feel about everything in the current moment. We've been talking a lot about things as they go, but this person wants to know how we feel about things as they currently stand. How about you?
Me personally, I think this is garbage. I think it's sad. I don't feel good about it at all. I think that based on the resistance that they met, that they could have gone about this entirely different way.
Yeah,
this could have been an amazing opportunity for them to show a de-escalation process in good faith.
Yeah.
I think that they violated things. Like, we know that they used pepper spray, and Mayor Jenny Durkin said that was something that they wouldn't do.
Oh, you're talking about tear gas.
Oh, was it tear gas? Well, I think they talked specifically about this group. They weren't going to use those types of measures to clear out the chop.
We're just gonna let this truck through.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever side you guys want to do.
All right. We'll go this way. We'll go this way.
Yeah, so.
Oh shit! God, I can't.
These officers abandoned this precinct here. I mean, I don't see anybody abandoning. I don't think they're going to abandon the West Precinct at all. But I think that you might see protests continue, maybe here at the East Precinct, down the West Precinct. The whole point that I'm getting at is that the underlying issues in our city continue. And until those underlying issues are probably addressed one way or another, we'll continue to find things where people are protesting. So
I appreciate you, man. Thanks.
What time did you first see him this morning when you first came out and you saw the lineups you described?
About 5 a.m.
About 5 a.m. Thank you. All right. So I think he broke off his own stream to come talk to us, and so you can follow him on Converge Media. He's just doing his own live stream and Tell Chop, and now he has his own channel Converge because his office is literally within the Chop. Well, I'll tell you what, we've seen what we can see here, and let's go down to the next block. Okay, but this is the Chop. I'm going to take a look in from the next block. If you appreciate this type of media, just a revolutionary reporter, telephone, and you without any filter, VecU certainly appreciates any support. We do have expenses. Well, an interesting turn of events. It sort of answers the question, and I don't know. There's clearly a, ever since Sunday night in the march on the mayor's house, there's been some conflict between Councilmember Sawant and the mayor, it would appear, and I don't know if this is the mayor's response or to that particular political conflict. But as an outside observer, it makes me want to ask the question. A lot of police cars here. This is the other intersection, just down one block from the precinct. And there you go. I mean, the barricades here have always been political, not physical. That's always been the case. Seattle was able to hold this space really due to the politics, not... that's not to downplay the protesting that took place, because I think that was very legitimate and pronounced and massive, and that obviously contributed to it. But the barricades here were always political. They were never physical. It was never an autonomous zone. Let's be clear. It never was an autonomous zone. It was a police-free zone, at least free of police in uniform. We know there were all sorts of different operations that all sorts of who knows running through there. But that was sort of the big intersection right there. Let's see if I can get over here and get a better look. And it's all covered with police vehicles. But, okay, so when I don't know if you recall, when we started this live stream, I was basically 2 blocks straight ahead here, looking at the police from the other side. Okay, so now we've gone full circle. And we're here. How are you guys? Did anybody like to say anything? No? Get up early this morning? Okay. They don't want to talk. All right. I guess I'll go back up by the precinct. Everybody else is. You can get a better view of what's going on. Let's turn this. So a smaller police line here, a dozen cops or so, but a lot of vehicles. They have Oh, it looks like there's a bus back there. I don't know if that was in anticipation of driving a bunch of arrestees to jail. A couple of those CRS type vehicles right there with the tall vans, kind of like you'd see in Paris. So, all right, guys, let's go back up here to the precinct. So, I've always wondered, because I'd never seen any fighting here. It always made me a little nervous that this wasn't very organic. This makes me think this was a lot more organic. I wondered if they were just going to leave this here as a sort of an empty shell of a sort of a political football for the mainstream media to bounce narratives off of, because that has been really the case. I haven't followed a whole bunch of mainstream media, but when you do, it's just like fantastical. What happened here, at least since I arrived, I got to know, a few dozen dedicated protesters. I would say there were a couple, maybe 300 or 400, real regulars here, and not a whole lot more than that. But we did get some stuff done finally last week in the assembly. I don't know if they ever really wanted us to use this space for anything useful, but we tried to do so anyway. And we did finally get to a place where all those records will be kept. And as we've always said, CHOP is not just a place, it's an idea. And we shall see what happens from here. But this particular media football appears to have been fumbled and recovered by the other team. It was increasingly difficult. If you can see those porta potties, they did some things yesterday. They took the porta potties away from the park area, so anybody staying over there had to work extra hard just to find a way to use a restroom. And those porta potties within that area were not clean. Hadn't been for the last few days, which was, sort of a nasty crap bomb in the waiting. There's a paddy wagon right there. That is a Seattle police vehicle. Looks like, for mass arrest. So there were some people here who really thought big. There were a lot of really interesting ideas. There was Native American leadership took up residence in a section of the park. There was hope here, and of course, no one was turned away. And I think there was a lot of unnecessary chaos within there, because I think there were, sort of paid disruptors to run through and cause problems. We finally got people to understand that anybody making loud noises is highly suspect. And we're finally able to get that quieted down, where we're able to get respect for our meeting times and places. We had been in discussions about some indoor meeting space, etc. But those notes have been made and kept, and as I understand it, they were going to be placed on a website as early as today. So we may see something on that. I'll maybe post something on my personal page and send it to VecU when I find that website. There may be further discussion about what belongs on there, etc. So, just like we said, guys, it would take about 15 minutes from what I saw. The defenses here, it would take about 15 minutes to clear it out. You heard Omari say that that's about what it took, 15 minutes. So they came decidedly. And, I will say this, and this is not, I'm not, I got a minute right now. I don't want to advocate for police in any way, but versus other tactics in other cities, they were continually using sort of disingenuous yet nonviolent efforts to get folks to leave by, saying, by starting rumors within the camp that something was happening off-site and everybody needs to go there. Those type of things, those rumors were traced to the city on 2 or 3 occasions in the last week. So that's about as nonviolent an attempt to get people out as you can find. This woman is still protesting. And amazing protests last night again. I don't cover them all the time, but they marched 2 or 3 times a day to the other precincts. But it appears the East Precinct is no longer secured by protesters. It was always somewhat of a concession by the police. Again, the barricades here were political, never physical, at least since I arrived. That's not to say there weren't serious protests and fights before I got here, similar to those that are still going on in Portland. And my guess is, given that this area is you may see more police combat here in Seattle as well, because there's no place for people to just be. And I don't sense at all that Black Lives Matter protests are going to cease. So the question is now, where will they go? So that would be, so I don't know. It's going to be an interesting environment here in Seattle for the next little bit. Thankfully, all my batteries were fully charged, and miraculously, this stabilizer hasn't collapsed in the last 6 minutes. I've got a charger plugged into that. Hopefully, it'll hold up. But I don't anticipate any police violence at this point, unless it happens later in the day when more people are awake. Do you know what time it is there, Andy? 6:48. It's 6:48 a.m. here in Seattle. So I've maybe been live. I've been live for less than an hour probably, or maybe about an hour. And it was, as I've heard it described, it took them about 15 minutes to clear this out. Do we know how many arrests there were?
Looked like 2, maybe.
Just 2?
I don't know if
I heard 13 earlier.
14?
13, that's right.
We didn't see 13 people arrested.
No?
Not on
Okay.
our stream.
Okay.
We saw, if I had to.
Okay, he's saying 2. Omari says he saw 2. 2 arrests.
Well, I've seen that happen before. But today I'll be honest with you. Just some background here. We got a lot of chatter over the evening.
What's going on?
March to those police over there to show that we're still free.
Huh.
They're not in our way, right?
Red. I mean, immediately the temperature has changed a little bit. A lot.
Where's my glove?
What's happening?
So they're bringing in the barricade police. So, like I said, the barricade police or the bike cops, they're going to come in and either try to clear the intersection.
What? What did he do? What did he do? Hey. What did he do?
Oh shit.
Oh, what the fuck did he do? What did he do? What did he do?
He's hauling ass to what he's doing.
Get up.
Oh shit. That's how quick it turns.
What's your name? Put that camera on him. What's your name?
Back it up.
I'm just asking his
Sorry.
name. What's his name? Dude, what's your name? Get your knee off the neck.
Here, make sure, get up, yeah.
Hey, knee off the neck. Come on, it's not necessary. He's down. He's down. Get your knee off his neck. He's down. Please get him to get his knee off his neck. Please. Dude, just tell your friend, just tell your coworker. Get his knee off his neck. He's down. He's subdued. Please. Please. That's what started this. That's what started this whole thing.
Okay. You see it back in here as well?
What's your name? Fuck you, Corbin. I see you. Mark Goldberg. Mark Goldberg. What is it? Mark Goldberg. Mark Goldberg. Mark Goldberg.
2.
Don't worry about me. I can bail my parents.
Why you?
On the side. Okay.
You were in the crosswalk though, weren't you? They're pulling.
Oh my God.
Oh, they're pulling out the artist now.
Look. And now they're taking down the musician over here.
Look at it. We got you, man. We got you.
Yes, Mark Goldberg. Holy shit, it's popping off, guys. Share the stream. Share it everywhere you can.
And what you got? Hey, stay in the crosswalk though, right here. Stay in the crosswalk.
street.
So what they just did was they just tackled the shit out of him for a pedestrian violation.
They put their fucking knee on his neck. That's bullshit. That's what started this whole fucking thing.
What are they arresting him for?
What are they doing?
Hold on. Hold up.
What is he being arrested for?
Huey, real fast. What? Gotcha.
And charges right now.
That's him. So the issue's been ordered. If anyone steps on the street, blocks, or anything, they're going to get one warning. They're using immediate arrest for pedestrian interference.
Pedestrian interference. Okay,
Yep.
for violating the crosswalk.
One warning, pedestrian interference. They're not going to let people block the streets anymore. So.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you for telling me.
Yep.
Okay, what did they say?
So what they just told us was that they're going to get one warning. They're not allowing anybody to obstruct traffic. They're not allowing anybody to obstruct the crosswalks. They're going to get one warning, and then you're going to be arrested for pedestrian interference. You're going.
What's your name? Vita Alabor.
What's your name?
Vita Allamore.
Vita Allamore?
All right, so we got. Okay, so I think we got more people over here that are being arrested. Is that crosswalk good? I think we're good on the crosswalk. It's all green. Yeah, we're good. It's green. We're good. We're good. Yeah.
Got shit going down. Share the stream, everybody.
Hey, yeah. So if you guys are watching this, I mean, that was crazy. That was the most excessive use of force for a pedestrian violation.
Knee on his neck? Are you fucking serious?
And then you've got that. I mean, they said that it was for a pedestrian violation for obstructing a crosswalk. He got tackled like that for obstructing a crosswalk.
What happened?
I had to yell more than 6 times on camera to get your knee off of their neck. Why are we still yelling this at these officers?
Did you hear what they arrested him for?
I didn't hear shit. I just saw a bunch of fucking cowards.
Pedestrian violation for blocking a crosswalk.
Such thing as a pedestrian violation.
It's a peaceful protest.
Come around this way. Come around this way.
That is our constitutional right.
So we've got.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, stay on the sidewalk. Ian, up here. Come here. Wait, you got a beer? You got it? There you go. You've got these folks that are down here that have been protesting. So what you got now is people that are being roped up, and he got just blindside tackled by that cop. He ran, but
I got it all. I got everything.
And it shouldn't have. And the reason that the reason that they came out was they said it was a pedestrian violation, that he was blocking or obstructing a crosswalk, along with 50 other people that were out in that crosswalk, including news media. I mean, like I said, you asked us the temperature, it changes that fast. Yeah. And what you just saw was exactly what they're protesting against, what all this is about. Not only did they tackle the man, I mean, took him off his feet and slammed him into the ground, but then they put a knee on his neck, and it took multiple people screaming for them to stop.
Which we know is against protocol. They're not supposed to put a knee on the neck. They are not. That is not taught, and they're actively told not to do that.
That's how quick things can change. But that right there was exactly what they've been protesting. I mean, if you ever didn't have a feeling about what was going on here, that should make you feel something. If you saw that entire tackle and everything that happened, they singled him out of the crowd because of his protesting and the fact that he was saying something. Everyone else was there. News media was out in the intersection. He took a run, tried to get away when they came out after him with an entire bike squad, and they had been planning on grabbing him. They said that crosswalk, they said you get one violation. I talked to the officer over here, Officer Huey. He said you get one warning and then they're going to arrest. They never gave him a warning. They pointed him out. They came out after him with their bikes.
He was right in front of my camera. Like
yeah.
I said, him right there.
Yeah, I thought they pointed at me.
Yeah.
And then they just demolished him.
We got somebody else over there. Somebody else over there being taken.
Oh yeah, she was in cuffs for a minute. They said they had some like 31 protesters arrested. Well, they just arrested like 7 more.
What did he say? We're not going to allow people to block the intersection.
Well, here's the question: where are all those legal observers?
Yeah, where are the legal? Oh, their clients were the medics. I found that out.
Oh.
So Yeah, we are not their clients. The medics are.
Oh, okay. So they're safe from their civil liberties are protected, but man, I flat out, I don't care what your feelings were before. If you just witnessed what we witnessed, you have definitely got to have a strong feeling about what just happened. They got that man for a pedestrian violation without a warning. They chased him down the street and blindside tackled him in the middle of the road and then knelt on his neck while they were arresting him.
And that's how this shit fucking started. This is exactly how this started.
If this isn't undoing anything that might have happened and accomplishing any goals, I can't imagine that anything possibly could be more symptomatic of what's.
Concerned about what we're doing.
Who?
He's just following us everywhere. This guy right here.
This Native American killer? Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but that's how quick it can pop off here. I mean, you've got helicopters overhead, you've got news media here, you've got, I mean, what just happened? They pulled the blue guys. Remember we were talking to the yellow guys up there, the bike police. They pulled the entire blue guys, the blue squad bike cops. They had them stationed and ready to go behind that van. I just pointed them out before the guy got pointed out. They pulled the barricade aside, singled him out, then they all came out in single file in a group of like 10.
Somebody, one of the mods, timestamp this so we can get back to it later quickly, so that we can crop it or cut it.
And now they're bringing in some more of like the heavy duty riot control guys with their tear gas and rubber bullets.
Oh my God, here we go again, dude.
And you wonder why. They just asserted a massive amount of violence on an individual that did not need that, but they didn't like that, so they're coming in with a massive amount of force.
Literally, completely uncalled for to escalate to that. Like, all they had to do, bring in the bike squad, and that's what we thought they were going to do. We saw the bike squad coming in, the barrier squad, right? And we thought they were just going to
take over the front line.
Over the front line, that was it. But they didn't have. But you know what they did? They singled that guy out and used way too much force.
Which means he's been on their scanner for a second because they singled him out, and it was only because he's one of the guys out on the road shouting Black Lives Matter out of two people maybe. And he looked sane enough.
You know what? No, he was on the line. He was trying to antagonize them. That's fine, but that's your right.
But that's also a crosswalk. And they said Huey, that I just talked to, Officer Huey, who's that good dude. He was able to talk to me. He pulled me through the crowd and said, "Hey, I'm going to talk to this guy." And he let our team come through, concrete reporting, and he pulled me aside.
Look at the officers. They're holding their mace. They're holding their mace, guys. See this? See, this is what they do. They accelerate the situation.
But what they
escalate it, and then they feel threatened because people are pissed. That's exactly what happens every time. And then we get hit again with mace and tear gas.
And then what happened? They said you get one warning. That warning never happened, and they just snatched him up. Well, they tried to. He took off running, which you would probably do when you have a force of 15 people coming down on you. And then he got tackled by the police in a brutal fashion, and then knelt on. And now you've got these guys in the middle of the street that are strapped up with tactical gear and the rubber grenade launchers, or the rubber bullet launchers.
They also shoot tear gas.
They all shoot tear gas and a lot of other violent shit that you don't want to have to deal with.
Dude, I watched him get taken up off the ground, talk to BJ. Like, I swear to God.
He got taken off his feet and slammed onto the concrete.
Hit him. I can tell you, he hit him from the left. I remember it.
And anybody that's wondering, let me tell you one more time what he just got arrested for. He had to ask them after tackling him to the ground, before ever even asking him or talking to him, a pedestrian violation. Pedestrian violation.
I've been noticing quite a few officers staring at us, and I'm just hoping that we're not a target now, but that's fine.
Well, we're media. We're the only ones out here covering right now. We got another news channel over here. I don't know who they are, but
one reason to target us. Maybe you didn't want cameras around.
But right now, what we just saw was a complete and an utter excessive use of force. That right there was disgusting. If you want to know my temperature of everything, the way they've taken apart the chop is disgusting. The way they've taken apart people's homes, disgusting. The way they've trashed, stolen, and wrecked these people's homes and stolen their personal items now, disgusting. What we just saw with the protester, disgusting. I can't say with any kind of like, with any hesitation that everything we've seen so far has been a few nice conversations and a lot of bullshit.
Yep, exactly. Let's get down there.
Yep. Ow. You good? I'm good. I put my arm up. Hey, do you want to loop around the other side? Ian. Let's come around the back side of the bus here. I don't want. Well, we can see the crosswalk though.
Violation is basically just jaywalking.
Yeah. That was insane, man. They targeted him out, pointed him out. Of all the people that were out on the road, they picked him and attacked him.
Yeah, dude, like, it's just...
There was at least 30, 40 people out in this intersection, stopping traffic. Then they snatched up the musician, who was an antagonist, or an agitator, whatever you want to call him.
So, and basically anybody that had a loud voice. Anyone that had a loud voice.
Oh, we're good. Hey.
CJ, be careful, man.
Well, we have the green, but fucking bus is blocking our way. No, it's red now. I'm not trying to cross the street without the green hand.
No, yeah. We're not giving them any reason, because they'll take any excuse to get media off the street, I'm sure.
Pedestrian violation? I've never seen someone get smashed on that hard for...
Dude, and the knee on the neck. Like, just the knee. Like, how tone deaf can you be? You know, that's how this shit started. I mean, obviously. Brad's on his way? Apparently Brad's on his way.
Who?
I said Brad is apparently on his way.
Oh,
here.
Fox?
Oh, you get Brad out here with his camera, he's gonna be pissed, dude. He is heated with cops.
Anybody should be pissed at what they just
Absolutely.
saw. Everybody should be pissed at what they just saw.
On a good day. He's gonna be mad.
What?
Tell me what happened.
Oh man, everyone's out here blocking the intersection, and one of the gentlemen who we've talked to, I interviewed him a couple times. Great guy, incredible mind, really smart dude. Has a podcast that he does, talking about just this kind of thing. They had a whole entire bike squad back behind that van, lined up and ready to go. They pulled down the lines and pointed him out, and the entire bike squad came out after him. He took off running, and the dude onto his head, and then put a knee in his neck and just held him down.
You thought was cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't no such thing as a good cop.
Yeah, no, not the cop that I thought was cool, the guy that I was talking to. Well, let me get through here real quick.
See what you did, and I see the video of me talking to you. I don't think he lives out.
No, you're direct. Cool.
I'm just asking if you know the word. Oh, we're gonna put the tape back up now? Really? What was the point of the whole thing then? What was the point of it all then? Like, if you're just gonna put the tape back up, right? They took the tape down, and then they were gonna bring in the bike squad, right? And then that's when they chased the dude down, and shit popped out.
Yeah. Here's Rick.
Oregon isn't alone in to cover your face when in public indoor spaces.
To be clear to our viewers and anybody out here that can hear me, what the police just said was they're going to give one warning for pedestrian violations, and then they'll go ahead and smash your face into the concrete, apparently. So be careful if you're standing in the road.
Casey.
You guys really need de-escalation training. I'm just saying, dude. Can you get those videos?
I would go now. Yeah, I would go now. Yeah, but
If you're a bad cop, if you're a bad cop, you might as well try to bad. If you're a good cop, stand up.
You guys see this motherfucker?
Agitator!
Do you see this person?
Agitator! Agitator!
No, you are.
Hey, when you point one finger, you got three pointing back at yourself, brother. That's how it works. When you point one, you got three back at yourself.
People saying that CJ's a protester with a camera now. You want to respond to that or no?
no.
No, fuck you.
I'm a human being with a microphone. If you don't believe in what you just saw,
Oh, agitator would be like somebody that comes in and they're not actually part of the protest, but they try to cause trouble to make it.
Me neither. I can't stand that dude. Not only that, yesterday he got in my face talking about.
So that man in the green megaphone, we're going to treat him just like the Christian fundamentalist. Attention is power. He is not worthy of our
it's like, you know, like if everyone wants to be peaceful, but like the cops could hire somebody.
Who the fuck is that?
I'm sorry, but homeboy in the red bandana can't be talking about anything because I'm pretty sure they had him singled out for breaking out the police window.
Really?
Yeah.
That guy right there?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to put anybody on blast, but when it comes right down to it, when it comes out, you can't get in Rick's face about agitating.
What the fuck, guys?
That's what we're fighting! And you wonder why we
If you want to be clear about what happens here, this was a small group of people. There was maybe 15, 20 people out here that were involved in this disruption of traffic. It wasn't a stop. I'm good. But what did happen was one guy was singled out. One guy got his ass smashed into the concrete, and now you've got this. This just happened. That de-escalation process would have been paramount at that point to stop this from escalating, but it is very much the opposite of what just happened. What's up, my man? Did you catch that?
I caught all of it.
Oh man, that was nuts.
I was on my way home.
Man.
I'm on my way home. I'm still gonna go home. I don't care. I gotta charge my battery.
All right. There you, man. I was just talking about you when this just happened. Actually, I was talking about we were talking about disruption on the freeway, right? And they were out here disrupting traffic. Then they got this guy for a pedestrian violation. That's what they said. They singled him out, brought a whole bike squad out, tackled the shit out of him, put a knee in his neck for like a good little bit. Had everyone screaming. I mean, I'm talking, they just picked him up off the ground, put him face first in the concrete for a pedestrian violation, which they said blocking a crosswalk.
They targeted him specifically.
Oh, they did. They pulled in the bike squad behind there. They had him ready, yeah.
Directly for that
Yeah.
guy, yeah.
They could have picked out anybody. Old boy with the caution tape wearing as a belt, standing in the middle of the intersection.
What's wrong with going over here and gather and sit down and figure out how to protest and let these people do what they're doing? See, this shit drowned out the movement, man. This shit drowned out the movement.
Well, I mean, if you'd have seen what I think everyone else just saw, you'd appreciate that. I think a lot of the movement...
I understand. But these people are mad. They have been punked. They have been treated like shit. They are upset. And we need to protest. What's wrong with us going over here and sit down and figure it out?
What we need to do. That's definitely it. But the problem is, it's mob mentality, you know?
Call me what you will, but if anybody saw that, you're going to have to feel the way you feel on your own. But yeah, if I saw that happen to anybody, I'd have an issue with it. Whether I'm in front of the camera with the microphone, watching it on TV, on my phone, at home, it doesn't matter. That was excessive and unnecessary. So for that one comment, I guarantee we probably have 5,000 other people watching right now that are going to say the opposite. So here's my question now. That man just got tackled into the concrete for pedestrian violation with no warning. Now you've got how many people that are pedestrian violating right now?
Yeah, you've got, a good 50 at least.
Well, now you're going to have to enforce all of that, right?
Well, no.
Or none at all?
Not necessarily, yeah.
Right? So here's my question now. That man just got tackled into the concrete for pedestrian violation with no warning. Now you've got how many people that are pedestrian violating right now?
Yeah, you've got, a good 50 at least.
Well, now you're going to have to enforce all of that, right?
Well, no.
Or none at all?
Not necessarily, yeah.
Right?
Or they could just single out people if they want, like
the gentleman that was standing here. We were just talking about doing more work with him because he has a podcast he does on Sundays. Incredibly intelligent guy. Obviously, he's got a voice that's worth hearing.
No, I'm going to clarify this. Come here. People say, "Oh, he fell over. There was no tackle." No, he did fall over, but then he got back up and started running again, and then they tackled him off his feet into the fucking concrete.
Yeah, I got a story to tell y'all for real. If people want to hear it.
Yeah, we got a lot of people here.
So look. Oh yeah, for sure. My bad. COVID. Look, so they start telling people to move back. I don't know what was happening with the bearded man, right? They're chasing him down for whatever reason, and they're telling everyone to move back. So pretty much I'm moving back with a crowd of people to Walgreens, right? There's a white lady, she's running also. We're all trying to move back, and the cops start running after people in particular. They run after this woman, I shit you not, and I know there's a lot of bias around police and hating police and stuff. What I just seen is a suable offense. I wish I got his badge number. This police runs after a woman that is running away. He pushes her as hard as he can in the back to the point that she falls and hits her face. And he says, "Yeah, bitch," or some shit along those lines. Like, "Ah, bitch," something like that. And then he does like some flexing on her, and he continues moving, does not arrest her or anything. He just pushes over as hard as he can and keeps going. Then she goes down the block to try and figure out which officer it was that did that to her, and they arrest her for that. So, know that.
Keep in mind, guys, we showed that card earlier. We got freeze frames of that. You can check the body cams on every one of these officers out here has an active live body cam.
How do we figure out?
I got the card right here. I'm going to flash this one more time. So if you guys need to get online and check body cam information,
Let's do it right now.
right here. So go ahead and yeah.
Take a picture of that.
Take a picture.
You're gonna want to get a snapshot of that. If you want to go ahead and, I tell you what, if you don't like what you just saw, go ahead and look into it. That's public information that everyone has access to. You can get on there. You can go ahead. Note the time and the location, guys. You want to remember that you're on Broadway and Pine right now.
It's 11:14.
It's
right around 11 o'clock.
Right around 11 o'clock.
15 minutes ago.
Right around 11 o'clock on Broadway and Pine. You're going to want to go ahead and check all that out. That's where you can go ahead, and your public rights as a citizen is to go ahead and get these body cams that every one of these officers is wearing.
You might have to issue a Freedom of Information Act, but
it might have a little bit of a process. But if you saw what you saw and you don't feel like what happened was legitimate, it should have happened, definitely do something about it. That's what all this is about. Is all this is about raising your voice.
Up here rounded out why we were here. We were not here to take over a park. We were not here to take over a precinct.
Exactly.
We were here to fight injustice against the police. Most of the protesters have left, but we are still here. So I'm just suggesting that we let them do whatever it is they need to do. The sooner they do what they need to do, then we can get back to protesting why we came here. So I'm just suggesting that maybe we go across the street and we sit down, us protesters, and talk and figure out where we're going to take this protest now.
No violence, bro. There's the guy that pepper sprays.
So far, I don't think we've gotten anything. They're upset. We're upset.
I'm not on. We have no reason to be upset. We do.
Are there any protesters here?
Hello, why do you think we're out here?
The rest were detained. I got to report there's 30 of them right now detained.
This protest is going now.
Right here. Block this intersection.
Right here.
Block this intersection peacefully.
Nowhere.
Peacefully, because we got to show up tomorrow.
All over it.
Back to one, as they say in the film industry. Back to one.
I love you, brother. We love you. We know you're trying to look out for us. We respect you.
That's what they do to get black people
Is it Mike? What? Yeah, if any of Lucky Bamboo's viewers are here, can you get on his stream and tell him to come down over here to 10th and Broadway and Pine. Sorry, we need as many cameras down here as possible. Also, any of you assholes in the comments who, said he didn't get tackled, and you're saying, oh, he fell down. Yeah, once you rewatch it and you see it, I want you to shut the fuck up forever after that.
Yeah. Watch the film. Go back to the game film on this one, because we had plenty of witnesses out here that saw exactly what happened.
He got tackled. Protesters, we prefer you to leave. We don't want any confrontation.
I think the issue that's going to be faced right now is the protesters we feel have been peaceful, but what just happened was not peaceful at all, and there was a de-escalation opportunity there.
They may be looking for a confrontation. They may be looking for.
They weren't looking for it. They found it.
But we are peaceful.
Oh, hey. I just dropped off your phone. Up there. Yeah. I'm gonna. If you want to just leave it up there, maybe. I'm gonna go down to Broadway and Pine because I hear that's where stuff is going on. So. All right. So shaky video time. I'm gonna run. Oh, I almost caught the nicest thing an SPD officer has done in the last 3 weeks, which was petting a dog. Yeah, no, not really. I mean, I will be honest, some of them have been possibly transparent a little bit, but that's about it. They don't give a shit about freedom of press or freedom of speech. How's the sound? I readjusted my rig because things changed, and also I'm wearing I'm wearing different gear. I'm wearing way more clothing than I normally am used to because I am fully aware that the police may do some real stupid shit. Also, for those of you watching, I do have multiple people that know what needs to be done in case I get arrested for some reason. So, for those of you thinking about that, don't worry about it. I heard that there was at least one rubber bullet shot this morning, and that they used either mace or pepper spray. But I've just been watching from home for the most part because my brain was fried and I thought I had something going on at 10:30, but I didn't. That's tomorrow. Yeah, I heard that they threw someone down already. I'm hopeful that someone got video of it, but who knows?
I think you better call some people.
So, anybody know where, like, Broadway and Pine is where things went down?
I think you better call some people.
Yeah, the one day that I tried to sleep in, of course, things go down. Arresting.
This morning, I was a little upset.
Not much. A wrong day for me to sleep in, I guess.
Yeah, it's all right.
I mean, that makes us look good.
Have you been here for a while?
I've been
I
here
heard that
for
they just
I've been here
arrested
for about
some
2
people.
hours. A bunch of bike cops rolled in, and I don't mind. I was here for the entire thing. What happened is there's a bunch of people here. They pulled out more people, and then a bunch of people start blocking the intersection. After that,
Martine, I don't know what you're talking about. I heard what I heard. I'm reporting what I see.
Online, there's like 30-some people that got arrested this morning too.
Yeah, I heard 31 was the last number that I heard.
they
When I,
took
but that was
half a dozen people.
but that was before I
You
got
could hear
here.
everybody banging in the back.
So
it's about 6 people that they arrested just over there on the other side of the intersection.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, one warning and tackling and arresting. That sounds about right for SPD.
Hey.
Hey. White protesters that were like loud and yelling at the crowd. There was an older white-haired police chief.
Oh, what's up, Brad?
Yo. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what that comment was aimed at. Well, I think it's more than 33. They just said that they just arrested at least half a dozen here, and it was 31 when I left my place. It's good that someone has video.
They have made it perfectly clear to me we'll take you to jail. I don't know about y'all, but I gotta go grocery shopping today, so I can't go to jail. I got a doctor's home I gotta take care of, so I can't go to jail. You can't go to jail.
Yeah, the entire situation is totally unnecessary. One warning and then they're gonna arrest people. Classy. Or they'll let people run them over with their vehicles. I would buy into that theory that it's retaliation. Martine, people that I trusted said that rubber bullets were fired and that mace was used. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. I didn't see it, but I totally believe it. If you think I don't have ethics, you can go watch another stream. Like, that's purely ridiculous. It's gonna be on video. People are gonna have it. So I don't know why you don't believe what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Yeah.
He had to run. We were talking to him when they came out after. It was crazy.
Yeah, I've basically seen the majority of the streamers that are here at the corner, so. There's green televisions on the corner, concrete's here. I know Lucky was down here, I don't know where he's at now. And then there's a bunch of people shooting cinema too. I've got my my fake cinema camera. But
Yo.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah.
Still alive.
I got my.
Did you just land?
Yeah, like 10 minutes ago. I met at the corner and then came down here.
Quick note: whenever a vehicle comes through, if they're blocking, they will
that's what I heard.
Chase you and
Yes.
Yep. With like 10 bikes.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe I could not run him. And I was like, I don't,
so he has the full account. He was over there like 10 people. They were arrested.
No, we connected. Yeah.
Yep.
Are you on my Facebook? Am I on yours?
I don't
should make sure.
Maybe I can take it.
Do you want me to keep doing this, or do you? I got my 75 to 300.
Are you small?
No.
Oh. I saw your sticker.
He's one of my.
He made those, but yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of my He was at.
Okay. Good luck. Thank you.
He was the first guy that shooting.
Good luck to you.
I remember.
Yeah, he's your ally for sure. And he's been covering a lot.
Like what I literally just seen a suitable offense by the cops. They literally just attacked the woman abusively.
I don't know where we met, but hey, there you go.
We met many times, but I don't remember.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
when it was.
The Black Panther Voice is having an event at Jimi Hendrix Park at 6:30. We'd love if you could come.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate the
I can.
invitation.
Yeah, I can text you the address, and you can just if you're able to come by, that'd be great.
Whatever she wants to do, I'm down for it.
Okay.
We just got recently married, so.
Oh,
I'm not,
congratulations!
I'm not Cheyenne and
That's
Apache
beautiful.
right now. I'm Silk.
I love that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's so beautiful.
We'll see how everything goes in this couple days.
Of course, and see where you're needed most.
Yeah. It's happening.
Yes.
We're in it.
We got traditionally grandmother married. Our mothers married us.
Oh.
And since both of our parents had passed, her father passed 3 weeks before my mother did. Traditionally, she can't do nothing for a year.
Oh.
So when my mom passed, she gifted me to Carnista. So in my mom's tradition, which is my tradition, I can't say no. We want to be together. But I can't say no because my mom not only gifted me to her, but she gifted me to the whole tribe by doing the clan mother tree.
Right.
Well, since Carnista's father passed away, she can't do nothing for a year. She's got a mourning for a year. So her mom can't marry her to me. So I'm her husband, but she's not married to me.
Oh.
Until
a year.
The tribe and the
a year of mourning.
agrees. They have to agree that it's a good fit on our side.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And she passed recently?
My dad passed in August and his mom passed in September. So last year.
Blessed be their journey.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. How's everything going on over there at Jimi Hendrix Park?
Well, I mean, there's not as much of like an occupied protest there as like that was just like
A meeting?
well, they're having regular like events there, and like different Black organizations around the city will have teach-ins or educational rallies. Like for our event is a book reading, and people break out into workshops so that they can deconstruct the racist inside of themselves to try to undo that conditioning.
It's taking action.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's taking action at a grassroots scale. We're all out here for the right reasons. Shit, might as well get the Somebody said that right.
We're gonna get what we want. We don't need no violence. Y'all doing great. I'm proud of y'all.
Excuse me, sir. I know you're part of the Black Collective, and he's looking for a
What's up?
place to help.
Long time no talk. Hey, yeah, good to see you. Yeah, the best way to get started is like show up at our event, so we can like meet you and get to know you, and then.
Where's the event?
It's at Jimi Hendrix Park at 6:30. If you have Instagram, I can point you.
I don't use Instagram. I must admit, I'm barely on social media.
That's okay. It's just Jimi Hendrix Park, Friday, in the South End.
Okay. Friday when?
6:30 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, but in terms of like right now we are still.
Friday when?
We are still forming our organization on the internal side, so we want to. If people say that they want to help. Friday at 6:30, and then Jimi Hendrix Park.
If I don't come, don't take that as offense. I will try to make
Oh,
it.
it's